And we welcome those of you who just watched the Rose Bowl, Oregon's victory over Wisconsin. We welcome you to University of Phoenix Stadium for the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl. Number 4, Stanford. Number 3, Oklahoma State. For the audience that was just with us, we just start talking about Oklahoma State, the highest scoring team in the country. They like to do it with that spread offense and the fast tempo. In the case of Stanford, you'd think with Andrew Luck, perhaps a once-in-a-generation quarterback, they'd be first and foremost a passing team, but they're not.
No, they really aren't. When you watch this Stanford Cardinal football team, it's about the run game. Now, again, Andrew Luck, he can beat you with his brain, his arm, and his feet. He's rare, and he does it very, very well. But what they like to do first and foremost is they want to run the football first. They'll get into what they call the Hulk formation. And you're going to see that tonight at different times, and we'll point it out. And what the Hulk formation is real simple. They get 7 offensive linemen in there. They generally have 2 tight ends, and it's power football. And they force you as a defense to be able to bring your numbers in, and you declare how you're going to defend against this offense. They'll pound the football. They like to run into numbers. And then once you do declare and you get everybody up inside, then that's when Luck goes to bat with the second part of his game, which is the pass game. They love the play action. They go to it often. This is a clash of styles, but a lot of similarities. Sean, this one should be a real humdinger.
Indeed it should. Oklahoma State so narrowly missing a chance to play in the All-State BCS National Championship game by 9 1/1000th of a point. The narrowest margin ever between 2 and 3. And down on the field is the Oklahoma State coach, Mike Gundy, with Heather Cox.
Sean, thanks so much. Coach, you came within a fraction of playing for the BCS championship. How motivated is this group to prove it's a national championship caliber team?
Well, our team was really excited about playing in this game. And having a quality opponent like Stanford and playing against Luck really helped motivate the guys.
Your star, Justin Blackmon, has been battling an inner thigh infection that's limited his mobility and playing time. After watching him warm up, how concerned are you about how effective he can be?
I think he's going to be fine. Justin plays through a lot of pain. He's done it for a couple, 3 years. I don't think he's in that much pain right now. We're going to find out really soon, but I expect him to play very well.
Coach, thanks so much. Enjoy every minute of tonight.
Thank you.
Sean?
And what a job Mike Gundy has done in his 7 years at his alma mater. Was a star quarterback back in the late 80s when Barry Sanders was a teammate. 18-19 as the head coach after 3 seasons, but he's built them into one of the best teams in the country. And across the field, David Shaw, just the 9th coach in the history of major college football to win 11 games or more in his first season as a head coach. 11-1, matching their regular season record of a year ago under Jim Harbaugh. If they could get that 12th win as they did a year ago, they'd match the school record set last year. Andrew Luck playing in his final game for Stanford. He is a junior, but he will not be returning to the farm. Oklahoma State won the toss and interestingly has deferred. A lot of concern among some Cowboy fans about the defense, ranked 106th in the country, but Mike Gundy is going to put the Cowboy defense on the field first. Quinn Sharp will kick off, best in the nation for the 3rd year in a row, leading the country in touchbacks, 56 of them this year. And of course he kicks off a lot because they score a lot. Other than the national championship game, this is the most anticipated game of this bowl season, and the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl is underway with the customary boomer off the foot of the junior Quinn Sharp, down by Ty Montgomery. So here comes Stanford, led by the brilliant Andrew Luck Jr. from Houston, Texas. Runner-up in the Heisman Trophy balloting for the 2nd year in a row. A year ago to Cam Newton, this year to Robert Griffin III. He was the Pac-12 Offensive Player of the Year for the 2nd year in a row. 70% completions, 35 touchdowns. 31-8 as the Stanford starting quarterback. Most wins among starting quarterbacks in Stanford history. And they've had some great ones, like John Elway and Jim Plunkett. They open, as you might expect, in a power formation. But they might try to hit a home run early. Stephon Taylor straight ahead. And he got 4. He's a 1,000-yard rusher for Andrew Luck and the Cardinal.
When you watch Andrew Luck, it's easy to get a little bit bored with what he does. He's so efficient. He actually bores you with completions and efficiency. What he does so well, Sean, that goes unnoticed, is the work he does pre-snap at the line of scrimmage. He puts his team in the right play virtually all the time.
Graduated with a 3.5 GPA. Back to pass he goes, and looking for that home run ball, but it was well covered deep. And he runs, and he is an effective runner, and he paid the price for it at the 29-yard line, a yard short of the first down. Justin Gilbert and Alex Elkins combined to put a pretty good pop on Andrew Luck.
Well, he did take a shot at the end of this. You're going to see him kind of get held up, so he can't really lower his shoulder. They're not afraid to hit him. One of the things you have to do when a quarterback takes off and runs, you got to let him know there's a price to be paid. They did just that.
Luck ran for 153 yards in the regular season. They wanted to take a deep shot, but it was covered. Now look at how tight this formation is on 3rd down and 1. Ryan Hewitt, the fullback, gets the call. There's a flag down. If the play stands, he got the first down. Tom Ritter is the referee. It's a Southeastern Conference officiating crew.
Offside. Defense, number 99. 5-yard penalty. The yardage results in a first down.
Rashedi Jones offside. There's Bill Young, the defensive coordinator, alongside Mike Gundy on the sideline.
Sean, in playing this game defensively, you've got to be able to match patience for patience. This is a very patient Stanford football team with running the football.
On 1st and 10, Stephon Taylor bounces outside. Lots of running room. One man can catch him, and did. Daquan Lowe saved the touchdown. All the way to the 28-yard line went Taylor with a 38-yard run.
You always think power football is going to be run inside, but you have to be able to handle the edge, and they do not get it done. This is very well blocked by Stanford. Allows Taylor to get to the edge. Nice angle by Daquan Lowe to be able to run this down. Really well done inside. David DeCastro on the kick out, and he's able to get the edge.
There are 2 All-Americans on that offensive line. The left tackle, Jonathan Martin, and the right guard, David DeCastro, leading the way for Stephon Taylor. Luck faked it to him, pressured immediately, throws it up for grabs, and it is incomplete. Intended for Jeff Mikan, a fullback, and Daquan Lowe had the coverage.
They got pressure, and that really is the difference of the play, because he had to hang this ball up just a little bit, but he also had Kobe Fleener running underneath and Toilolo on the other side wide open. That could have been a great catch, and a second big play by Daquan Lowe.
Lowe is their leading tackler for the season, the free safety. 2nd and 10. Tyler Gaffney is now in at tailback. They'll use 4, we expect, tonight. Gaffney is also an outfielder on the Stanford baseball team. Got 3 to the 25. It'll be 3rd and 7. As we look at tonight's impact players, some of them for Stanford, including Luck, Taylor, back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons. Fleener, part of a 3-headed monster at tight end. He averages 20 yards per catch and has scored 10 touchdowns. And when they're on defense, Chase Thomas pursues the quarterbacks from his linebacker position. He led the Pac-12 in tackles for loss in the 2nd in sacks. There's Fleener. Great target at 6'6", 254. They like to look for him in this part of the field. 3rd and 7. 4-man rush. Luck dumps it off for Griff Whalen, and he's well short of the first down. They're going to spot it at the 23-yard line. Markel Martin made the tackle. Rashedi Jones with some pressure on Luck. They are about 5 yards short of the first down, so the field goal team comes on for Stanford.
Bill Young, their defensive coordinator, decides to roll the bones a little bit there on that third down, knowing that if he can bring pressure and force a quick throw, it has to be underneath, and then they can make the tackle, and it was well executed.
Jordan Williamson's had a good year. Second team, all Pac-12, 41-yard field goal try, and it is no good, just wide to the right.
Sean, one of the things that this Stanford team thought they had to do was drive the football, hold on to the ball, but they could not afford to just get field goals. They had to punctuate the drives with 6 points. And in this particular instance, they get nothing.
Williamson thought he had it.
Remember, if it's over the top of the bar, it's no good. It has to clearly be inside.
So here's Oklahoma State, highest scoring team in the nation on offense, and Brandon Whedon throws an interception on their first play from scrimmage. Picked off by Terrence Brown.
Terrence Brown played this extremely well. He gave up the underneath, and he continued to sink in his coverage. Watch him. He's just going to keep on getting depth. That is, you could not have played that more perfectly. Blackman was trying to settle in between the safety over top and the corner, but Brown did a beautiful job of just sinking with the coverage and played it well.
His first interception of the year. Stanford has had now just 7 interceptions on the season, a very low total. They have the ball right back at the 38-yard line. Luck handed it off to Taylor. And a hard-earned yard for Stephon Taylor, junior from Mansfield, Texas. The only other rushers in Stanford history to have back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons are 2 standouts, Darren Nelson and Toby Gerhart.
You know, when they're going to try to run this edge, there's a guy on the outside right there, number 19, Broderick Brown. Only 5'8". He's a bulldog. That guy is a player. He will take big players and play them even, and he'll be physical as you can be physical. He is a pleasure to watch.
A lot of discrepancy about his height. He tells his teammates he's 6 feet tall. Bill Young told us yesterday he's actually 5'2".
He's a legit 5'8". Plays like he's 6 foot.
Luck on 2nd and 9 in the flat, and you can see that hit coming. Ty Montgomery got his helmet knocked off by the hard-hitting Markel Martin.
Nice play. Nice hit. All clean. He's running right through that thing. Now he reads this the same thing that Luck reads it. And here he comes. Now that's not helmet to helmet. He hit him actually upper body. Well played. Markel Martin. You're going to watch. He's going to turn upfield. Montgomery. Watch.
Well, that looks helmet to helmet to me.
Yeah. I like it.
As you always do when you side with the defense. Fortunately, it looks like Montgomery's all right. A timeout called with 3rd down and 7 upcoming. No score, just underway in Glendale, Arizona. And we welcome you back to ESPN's presentation of the 2012 Tostitos Fiesta Bowl.
John, I wanted to take another look at this, and there are a couple pieces of this. First of all, he didn't launch himself. He tried to run through. And secondly, Montgomery, at one point, he goes from being a receiver to a runner. And admittedly, it's close, but that's good, tough, physical football. Good non-call, in my opinion.
And a big play here. Stanford trying to capitalize on the turnover on the first play from scrimmage from Oklahoma State. Tyler Gaffney went out in motion to the right, leaving Luck all by himself in the shotgun. 4-man rush, and they get to Luck. It's Rashedi Jones again, pulling him down back at the 43.
Nice job by Bill Young, the defensive coordinator. He shows 3 initially, and then Sean, off the left side, he brings 2 more. And effectively, because you have 5 receivers out, it's 5 on 5. Rashedi Jones beats the numbers. You're going to watch Lewis, 11, coming off the one side. And then Jones back up inside. He beats Yankee. And because of the coverage, he had to pull that thing down and you get the sack.
Loss of 8 on the play. David Green punts. Josh Cooper fielded it and brought it back to the 14-yard line. Jarek Lancaster made the tackle for Stanford. So the Oklahoma State defense rose to the occasion, covering up the miscue by Brandon Weeden.
ESPN College Football, the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl, is brought to you by Tostitos. Tostitos knows how to party. Nissan, proud partner of the Heisman Trophy. Taco Bell, think outside the bun. And DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you gotta get DirecTV. Call 1-800-DirecTV.
And some of the great views of tonight's game are courtesy of the DirecTV Ultimate Picture Cam. Natural grass field inside this dome stadium, and it looks to be in great shape. It was a concern given the Arizona Cardinals played a game in here yesterday, an overtime win over Seattle. No score. Oklahoma State on offense for the second time. They had just one play on their first possession, and Brandon Weeden threw an interception. This time it's a delay to Joseph Randall, their leading rusher. He got a yard to the 15, tackled by Matt Masafilo. Weeden, senior from Edmond, Oklahoma, tremendously accurate. All of those marks are school records. The yardage mark and the single season touchdown mark are records that he had, that he set a year ago and broke this year. He's 28 years old. Gave it to Randall again. He's ahead for another yard. Chase Thomas and Matt Masafilo made the tackle. And it'll be 3rd down and 8 for Oklahoma State, playing it conservatively here, deep in their own territory after the early problem. Four-man rush from Stanford. The check down is complete, and Isaiah Anderson's driven back from the 20-yard line, way short of a first down. But wouldn't you know, with these two high-scoring teams and all the talent on the offensive side of the ball, the defenses have been the story so far.
And Sean, that's exactly what you said at the top of the show. You have all this offensive firepower, and really, it's strength versus weakness on both sides. But it's the weakness who is stronger is the team that will prevail.
When Sharp punts, oh boy, this is a bomb to Drew Terrell, and he is smothered immediately. Great coverage by Justin Gilbert. And the ball be marked at the 31 after a 50-yard punt. Well, Mike Gundy put his defense on the field first when he had the choice, and they've backed up his faith. Oklahoma State's defense done an excellent job so far. The offense has done nothing. Bill Young's group coming off an outstanding performance in their win over Oklahoma in the Bedlam game to end the regular season. It's already forced 1 3-and-out from Stanford tonight. They had only 13 the entire regular season. Fewest 3-and-outs on offense in the country. Anthony Wilkerson is the tailback, and he gets the handoff from Luck on the delay, and he's dropped for a 1-yard loss. Back to the 30-yard line. Sean Lewis and Nigel Nicholas combined to make the play.
The interior of this defense for Oklahoma State, they're not very big. They can be active. And when Nigel Nicholas is, when he's on, he's a powerful guy inside. When he gets his hands inside of a guy and sinks his hips, he's pretty darn good.
Missing another defensive tackle, a starter. Christian Littlehead suspended for this game. Anthony Rogers, 94, got the start, and he's played a lot at that position this year. Stephon Taylor got the yard back. It'll be 3rd and 10. Much has been made about the rankings. 107th in total defense, 103rd against the pass. But Bill Young has plenty of good reasons to not be tremendously concerned. He said, sure, we wish the numbers were better, but we play with an offense that scores very quickly. We're back out on the field quickly. In fact, they've defended more plays than any team in the country. 1,008. By comparison, the #1 defense in the country, Alabama, has defended 332 fewer plays this year. And the Oklahoma State leads the country, the defense, in takeaways with 42. Luck throws, caught, first down. Out to the 42-yard line. Zach Ertz, part of that outstanding trio of tight ends. He's a sophomore from Danville, California.
And what he does very well is he understands that it's a zone, knows where the sticks are, and sits right in the hole. That time, Sean, they rushed 3 and they dropped 8 defenders. And so the holes in those zones are a little smaller. Ertz does a nice job.
24th catch, and he missed 3 games with a knee injury. Stephon Taylor powering ahead. Tough run to the 47, almost the 48-yard line before Cooper Bassett and Markel Martin got him on the grass.
John, remember earlier we talked about, as a defense, when you play this Stanford team, you have got to be able to match patience with patience. Stanford is going to run the foot. They're going to do what they do. And what they try to do is try to get you to make a mistake. Take a chance. Maybe play a guy a little bit differently one time. And that's when they beat you.
Just under 55% of their plays from scrimmage are runs. Fake to Taylor. Luck given time. He has a man wide open. It is caught. Touchdown, Ty Montgomery.
There's the mistake.
You know, Matt, I was talking to Pep Hamilton, the offensive coordinator, before the game. He said all week long we've been reading comments from the Oklahoma State people saying Stanford is run, 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 and then try to throw it over your head. He said, well, we might try to throw it over their head a lot earlier than they expect, and they just did. 53 yards and a touchdown, and the lead for the Cardinal. And the extra point good by Jordan Williamson. Andrew Luck's 36th touchdown pass of the season, capping a 5-play, 69-yard drive. A touchdown catch for Montgomery, just his 2nd of the year. It's a rare home run ball for Andrew Luck to a wide receiver entering tonight's game. 14 of Stanford's 20 longest pass plays this season have gone to tight ends. They just don't have a lot of speed at the outside receiver. 2 of the other 6 were trick plays, flea flicker type plays to get it to a wide receiver. Montgomery does have speed and used it to score a 53-yard touchdown. They lost Chris Owusu for much of the year with a couple of concussions. He was their big playmaker at wideout. Williamson kicks off. About 4 yards deep in the end zone. Justin Gilbert, 4 kickoff returns for touchdowns in his career. And he got taken down at the 30-yard line. Let's take a look at tonight's Taco Bell touchdown spotlight.
Sean, remember we talked about who's going to make the mistake. Here's a mistake, here's a mistake. But they're not alone. Right there, everybody bites on the inside. And I want you to watch the receiver. He does a nice job of running at the corner to fake that he's going to block him. Everybody bites. And then he gets on top of it. And remember, it's play action pass, which brings you an extra blocker inside. Well protected. Ball's right where it has to be. And it's 6 points.
Let's see if Oklahoma State can get its offense going. They've turned it over once. Pass incomplete. Looked like they're trying to set up a screen to Joseph Randall. It'll be 2nd down and 10. Just more than 4 minutes left in the first quarter. And Oklahoma State has not had the first down. This is their 3rd possession of the football game. A turnover and a punt. Whedon down the field, caught. There's the first down to Josh Cooper. His 65th catch of the season.
Sean, that guy right there, Cooper, to me, he's the X factor for this passing game. You know what Blackman can do. But Cooper is the guy people forget about, and he's the guy who moves the chains.
14-yard gain. Line of scrimmage, the 44. Pressure off the corner, and the pass incomplete. Again intended for Cooper. And broken up by A.J. Tarpley. An inside linebacker, redshirt freshman from Plymouth, Minnesota, coming off a terrific performance in their season-ending win, regular season finale against Notre Dame.
And not only Notre Dame, he got better as the season went on, particularly in the pass game, and you saw it there. He's gotten a little bit of patience in the pass game, and he uses it well.
They go quickly, as they usually do. Whedon throws, caught, 3-yard gain. Just shy of the 50-yard line, it's Isaiah Anderson. Tackled by Johnson Batamosi, a cornerback. 3rd down and 4.
Nice job of substituting by the Stanford bench. They get another DB in.
It'll be hard to substitute against this up-tempo Oklahoma State attack. They bring 5, but it was a slow rush, and the pass is incomplete. Not a well-thrown ball by Isaiah Anderson. And when you talk about the strengths of Brandon Whedon, Matt, the top thing on the list is accuracy, and he's a little bit off his game in that regard.
A little bit off because the coverage was there. They were going to try to hit the wheel route. You're going to watch the receiver, Randall, go on top, and they took it away. Batamosi took it away, and he forced him to pull that thing back down, and then he tried to hit this inside. But you're right, Sean, a little bit high on that one.
Quinn Sharp punts again. Almost scraped the ceiling here at the University of Phoenix Stadium, and they couldn't down it. It landed at the 2 and hopped into the end zone. Another 50-yard punt for Sharp, but a net of just 30. Tomorrow night at 8 Eastern on ESPN, don't miss the All-State Sugar Bowl from New Orleans. Denard Robinson and the Michigan Wolverines back in a BCS Bowl for the first time since 2007. They're taking on David Wilson, the outstanding running back, and the Virginia Tech Hokies, making their 19th straight bowl appearance under Frank Beamers. The All-State Sugar Bowl on ESPN, ESPN Radio, ESPN3, also streaming live at WatchESPN.com and the Watch ESPN app. All tomorrow night, 8 Eastern time.
Logan Thomas in that game will be an X factor. He's a big man who has gotten better as the season's gone on.
He's the quarterback for Virginia Tech. They hand it off to the fullback, Jeff Mencken. And he stopped immediately. Anthony Rogers with help from James Thomas.
Sean, on that last one when they gave up the touchdown, if they went to the sideline, I'll guarantee you what Bill Young was telling his defense. Read your keys. Your keys never lie. And you have to stay on them, particularly those safeties. Safeties are very integral in this game, particularly in this game. Because of the run game, you want to come down and make the tackle, but you have to make sure you see your key first.
You don't want one thrown over your head, as has already happened. Luck. 4-man rush from the Cowboys, and the catch made by Kobe Fleener. First team All Pac-12 tight end. 26-yard line, and there is a flag on the play. Caleb Levy made the stop for Oklahoma State.
An illegal touching on the offense. Number 82 was not on the end of the line. 5-yard penalty. Second out.
It's amazing that doesn't happen more often with the strange formations that Stanford throws at you.
You can't have more than four rather in the backfield. If he wasn't on the line of scrimmage and he was in the back, that one would mess me up a little bit unless somebody else was out there. I don't know how they punctuated the end of the line.
And they came back to the 16, 2nd and 14, and another tough run by Stephon Taylor. Out near the 28. The 3rd down to about 2.5 as we're under 2 minutes to go in the first quarter. Stanford leading Oklahoma State 7-0.
Just power football. They're going to just run right inside, and then you got to run. This is called running behind your pads, and he doesn't give up. Keeps the feet churning and the legs pumping. Trying to go back to the penalty on Fleener's because there was somebody who covered him up on the end line.
They're an outstanding third down team, 52%, so often in short yardage because of the effective run game on early downs. Oklahoma State tried to bring pressure, and it is intercepted. Officials conferring, yes, now they say it is a pick for Justin Gilbert.
That is really well done by Justin Gilbert. The read for Luck is the corner underneath. If he bites on the underneath route, you throw it to the guy over the top. Gilbert read it perfectly. He saw the same thing that Luck saw, and he took a chance and undercut it. Watch, there's the bite underneath. Now throw it over the top. He's going to go to Fleener, but Gilbert does a really nice job of seeing the same thing.
Got both feet in bounds as it turned out. Had possession all the way. 5th interception of the year for Gilbert, and the 43rd takeaway this season for Oklahoma State, adding to the national lead. Whedon under duress. Got it off very short to Josh Cooper. Smothered immediately by Michael Thomas, senior safety and the co-captain, along with Andrew Luck.
Sean, I am really impressed with both these defenses. They are aggressive. They are in coverage. We've not mentioned Justin Blackmon at all. He's been covered down below the whole time. Really well done out there by Terrence Brown.
Whedon, plenty of time this time, and throws short of Isaiah Anderson. Here's Heather Cox.
Sean, as I mentioned with Coach Gundy before the game, Justin Blackmon is battling an infection on his inner thigh. It's limited his mobility this week. I talked to athletic trainer Ken Blasky. He told me he's been on heavy antibiotics and anti-inflammatories, told to stay in bed because it's made him very sore and lethargic. You'll notice they haven't gone to him. He didn't warm up very much, and he's practiced very little all week. They kept that covered up, but Blackmon has not participated in very many drills.
They go short on 3rd down to Joseph Randall, and he got taken down immediately by Jarek Lancaster. Their leading tackler for the year did a nice job stepping in for the outstanding linebacker Shane Scove, who was injured in the 3rd game of the year and missed the rest of the season. That'll be the last play of the 1st quarter.
Great defense, Sean. This has been a quarter of good defense on both sides, Oklahoma State and Stanford.
Only 27 yards of offense for Oklahoma State, a team that averages 557 per game. Welcome back to the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl, University of Phoenix Stadium, Glendale, Arizona. After one quarter, Stanford leading Oklahoma State 7-0, and frustration evident in Justin Blackmon on the Oklahoma State sideline.
Yeah, but you know what else you see there, Sean? You see a motivated guy. He wants the ball. When great players get involved like that, particularly with emotion, you start feeding them.
Quinn Sharp hangs it high in the air, and a fair catch made by Drew Terrell at the 13-yard line. Here comes Stanford again. Andrew Luck had the defense come to his aid after he threw an interception. He's thrown an interception now in 6 straight games. Of course, he was the Heisman Trophy favorite for much of the year, then got passed late in the season by Robert Griffin III. David Shaw, the Stanford coach, said no disrespect to Griffin because he had a tremendous year. He said, but the slowest wide receiver for Baylor would be the fastest wide receiver on the Stanford team.
Yeah, you have to kind of look around and look at the whole picture. Here's look at this right now. See this? You got 7 offensive linemen. This is their Hulk formation we were talking about at the start. They're just going to go power on power, force you to have to adjust.
Stanford coaches were so disappointed that 2 years in a row Luck did not win the Heisman. Stephon Taylor runs for about 4. We talked to Pep Hamilton, the offensive coordinator, yesterday, and he seemed to be blaming himself, Matt. He said, I wish I had done more to help Andrew Luck win the stat war, because when you compared stats to stats, Luck to Griffin, Griffin had the much bigger numbers, but it's a much different offensive philosophy.
Yeah, not even close. But their main concern wasn't necessarily the stats, and Andrew Luck would be the first to tell you he wants wins. That's what he wants first and foremost. and the best way for them to win is to run. He's all for it.
2nd and 7. Luck appears to be changing the play, as he does very often. They usually have 3 options when he comes to the line of scrimmage in terms of what's called in the huddle. Threw it off to Stephon Taylor. He's very near a first down across the 23. Has it 1st and 10. Sean Lewis ran him out. And here are the passing numbers, the comparison, and more than 800 passing yards for Robert Griffin III.
You know, we had the pleasure of covering both these players. Of course, Robert Griffin III won the Heisman Trophy. But let me say, take those numbers away and just look at their character. And they might be 2 of the best character people in all of football. That is, you couldn't say more about them as people.
No doubt about it. Both incredibly high character individuals. Taylor again. Boy, he's running hard, fighting for every inch. Out to the 28-yard line, run down by Markel Martin.
You know, when you're a safety, the one thing you have to be aware of, you read your keys, and then it's about angles. Because you can't give up the inside, take the inside out. See how he does that? And by position, you take away the inside, and you force him one way to go. Well done by Markel Martin, who really, Sean, has come on as the season has gone on. He stumbled a little bit with his play early in the season, but at the end of the season, he was playing very well.
He's come on in many ways as his career has gone on. He didn't even make the bowl trip his freshman year, had academic issues. This year, he won the team's Academic Achievement Award. On his way, Jeremy Stewart. The 4th tailback to carry the ball tonight for Stanford.
Watch 82, Kobe Fleener. This is called setting the edge. You're going to get him, and he's going to come back down inside. You're going to see, here's Fleener right here. He's going to set this edge. Right there. Takes the safety back down inside. There's no force. You eliminate the force. Nice block inside also. And then he's on the edge.
34-yard run for Jeremy Stewart, 5th-year senior from Baton Rouge, with help on the corner from Fleener. Longest run of the year for Stewart. Luck under center now. With 3 men in the backfield. Gaffney spins down to the 35, wrapped up by Anthony Rogers.
They're so methodical, Sean. They'll try, first they tried punching you in the stomach early. They tried to go inside. Okay, you took that away. Now we're going to get to the edge. We're going to force you to have to defend the edge because we're going to try to set it. And then once you start flowing, that's when they'll read those backers from the inside out. And if you flow fast, they start cutting it back.
We talked to Bill Young yesterday, Matt. He said we talked to a lot of coaching staffs that played Stanford, and they all said the same thing. You're going to watch them on tape, and you're going to be underwhelmed. And then you're going to get out on the field, and you're going to think, wow, these guys are really good. Luck throws, 1st down. Gaffney breaks the tackle. Breaks another, and is finally down at the 19. Anthony Rogers, the defensive tackle, had to hustle downfield to stop him after a pickup of 16.
You know what they do? They're using the guys down the field to draw coverage off, and then he's dumping it back underneath. And he'll force you, again, in the pass game, they're going to force you to be patient. And they're going to want you to back off, and he'll throw it back underneath. And then when you take a bite underneath, that's when he'll hit it over the top.
Stanford methodically on the move, as is their custom. 1st and 10 at the Oklahoma State 19. Taylor back in there. There was movement before the snap.
Nice hit by Daytwan Lowe at the end of that thing, though.
I don't think the players heard the whistles.
False start. 94 offense, 5-yard penalty remains, 1st down.
And they've had a lot of problems with penalties lately. They had 11 penalties in the last regular season game against Notre Dame and 7 in their win against Cal.
And that's Daytwan Lowe again with a really nice hit on Taylor. Of course, it never happened because the whistle happened.
It's a freebie.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no play. There's no helmet to helmet. There's no flag.
7 first downs for Stanford. Still just 1 for Oklahoma State. On the draw, Jeremy Stewart. Great cut. Another great cut and a touchdown for Stanford.
John, sometimes you have to lose one for the Gipper. And the fullback this time just gets blown up. Watch this right here. He loses one for the Gipper. What he does, though, is effectively takes him out. And then Stewart is to second level, and like you said, nice vision. It's one thing to see it, it's another thing to get there, and he did just that.
Jordan Williamson adds the extra point. It has been all Stanford. Jeremy Stewart, 9th rushing touchdown of his senior season, capping an 87-yard drive that took 4.5 minutes and 7 plays. Back here at the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl, Stanford leads 14-0. Big plays from the Cardinal. 3 long runs. Most recently, the 24-yard touchdown by Jeremy Stewart. They've had runs of 38 and 34 tonight. Their first touchdown was a pass play of 53 yards, luck to Montgomery. No rhythm on offense for Oklahoma State. They don't generally have the ball for very long, but they do typically do much more with it than they have tonight. Jordan Williamson kicks off. Spinning down to Josh Stewart, true freshman. In trouble and just did reach the 16-yard line. Well covered by the special teams, coached by Brian Polian.
This is really well done, Jeremy Stewart. Look, Hewitt gets blown up by Johnson right there, but he provides him some space. Now, there's one thing to see it, there's another thing to get your body there. And that on Broderick Brown is really well done. And then at the end of this, another nice cut back inside. I remember talking to Barry Sanders one time, and I said, Barry, how the heck do you see those cuts and get there? He says, you know, I see the same things you see. I can just get there and you can't. Stewart got there.
Barry Sanders' son is being recruited by both of these schools. Joseph Randall, the ball carrier. Good gain on first down. He got 5, perhaps almost 6, across the 21-yard line. And they are much more than just a passing team. Randall has rushed for exactly 1,200 yards for the season now, with his 7 tonight. Whedon sends Cooper in motion. Brandon throws and has his man. Colton Shelf across midfield. Delano Howell, the all Pac-12 safety man, made the tackle for Stanford. 29-yard gain for Oklahoma State.
Same concept. It's a little bit of a play action. It's over the top of the linebackers, and Shelf is able to get inside the safeties on top of the backers in a well-thrown ball.
First play over 20 yards tonight for Whedon and the Cowboys. He dumps it off to Cooper. And he lunges ahead to the 43. Jarek Lancaster made the tackle. But this is more typical of the rhythm that Oklahoma State gets into offensively.
That's what you want to be able to do if you're this offense. They actually settle themselves down when they hurry their pace up. One thing that this Stanford defense wanted to be able to do was get Brandon Whedon off his mark. They've not been able to do that so far.
They rush 5. Whedon zings one on target. And this will be a touchdown. First catch of the night for Justin Blackman, and he takes it to the house.
And the Cowboys just woke up from their snooze. They wanted to move Whedon off his mark. They weren't even close. And when he has that time, he has great vision. The accuracy shows up, and so does Blackman.
Sixteenth touchdown catch of the year for Blackman. The extra point is good from Quinn Sharp, who does all of the punting and place kicking for the Cowboys. Quick strike, as is their way. 4 plays, 84 yards, just a minute 31 to do it. The big passes, 29 to Shelf and 43 to Blackman.
ESPN College Football, the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl, is brought to you by Tostitos. Tostitos knows how to party. Vizio, delivering entertainment freedom for all. Chevrolet and their award-winning cars, trucks, and crossovers. And Gatorade. These teams have what it takes on the inside to win. Do you? Join the conversation.
Great time-honored tradition here in the Valley of the Sun, the Fort McDowell Fiesta Bowl Parade, a dazzling array of balloons, equestrian units, floats, marching bands, and another tradition, quick scores by Brandon Weeden and Oklahoma State. On average, they score touchdowns more quickly than any team in the country. It improved their average to a minute 46 with a 1 minute and 31 second touchdown drive there, just 4 plays.
Well, remember we talked about patience on the defense and then making a mistake. Well, this time Stanford was not patient and they made the mistake, and Blackman and Weeden made them pay for it.
First 4 possessions for Oklahoma State, an interception and 3 punts, 27 yards of offense. That drive 4 plays, 84 yards. Good kick by Sharp. Boy, Montgomery got knocked down by his own teammate Jeremy Stewart in the end zone. He wanted to run it out. Stewart said, "No, you will not." Best hit of the night.
Yeah, that is really well done. Listen, freshman, no, you stay right there. Now remember, it's where the ball is. It's not where the body is or the feet are. If they come out, it doesn't matter. It's where that ball was.
And it has to come completely
out
across the goal line.
Stewart's going to be on the tackle chart tonight.
Yeah, he should be credited with a stop. Oklahoma State fans don't like it. David Shaw doesn't seem particularly concerned. And no stoppage from the replay booth. Luck taking a very long time to snap it. Yet now it's ancient history. Stephon Taylor, a yard and a half. Down to 8:40 to go in the second quarter.
Let's go back and look at that, whether it's a touchback or not a touchback, or whether he brings it out. It's where the ball is. The player has nothing to do with it. The ball, the entire ball, would have to come out, and it did not do that in the estimation of the officials, and Stewart made sure that ball didn't come out.
Yeah, I think the folks who are booing don't understand the college rule. The ball has to come completely across the goal line into the field of play. And it never did. Therefore, it is a touchback. Stephon Taylor stopped 3 yards short of the first down. Of course, that's not in the rule book. I don't know the page it's on where it says it is okay for a teammate to flatten one of his own in the end zone to help him execute the touchback.
I think what that's called is a senior priority. So you have the senior running back, and he sees the freshman trying to do something that's not very wise. I think it's in small print. It says you may drill him if necessary.
And he's a smart Stanford people. Next up, Michigan and Virginia Tech. They have a tough act to follow with the BCS Bowl action we've had today. Compelling Rose Bowl and an interesting start to this one. Luck on 3rd and 3. Throws incomplete, looking for Griff Whalen. And James Thomas had good coverage. Whalen and the Cardinal fans wanted a flag, which they are not going to get.
You see Whalen in the slot, Thomas right here. They went 5 wide. They're trying to spread him out. Now he wants you to gain the advantage inside. He did have him on the hip, but that's good defense. That's good defense. If you are going to have anything, have it down low. They generally do not call that.
There's David Green, the punt. He doesn't punt very often. Stanford punted 35 times this year. Only Baylor, Army, Navy, and Air Force punted less frequently. Josh Cooper brought that punt back. Tackled by Andrew Fowler, who's the long snapper. A transfer from Williams College in beautiful western Massachusetts. Timeout, 6:57 to go in the half. Allstate is celebrating its 7th year sponsoring the Good Hands Field Goal Nets. Allstate makes contributions to participating universities' general scholarship funds for each field goal and extra point kick. To date, Allstate has given more than $2.6 million in scholarship monies to universities throughout the country, including Tiger Woods' old school. He's on the Stanford sideline. He was their honorary captain out on the field for the coin toss before the game. Ricky Fowler, outstanding golfer himself, represented OSU. Joseph Randall back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it on 1st and 10 for the Cowboys from their own 33-yard line.
Sean, I think it was significant the last series that they got the ball into Justin Blackman's hands. Remember, we saw him on the sideline. He got a little emotional. He was getting fired up about it. When guys do that, look, great players are great players for a reason. When they want the ball, you feed them. Even when they don't want the ball, if you need it, you feed them.
Brandon Whedon throws. Blackman again breaks a tackle. And here he goes, running away from the defense. Injured and all, it's a touchdown for Oklahoma State.
He's hungry. You feed him. Doesn't matter. You keep a safety inside. You have a corner on top. When you are a great receiver, it doesn't matter what kind of coverage you put on him. Blackman fits that bill, and that's why he's got 2 straight scores.
2 catches, but both for touchdowns. That one 67 yards. 110 total yards on the 2 grabs. The extra point to tie it good from Quinn Sharp. Justin Blackman, back-to-back Biletnikoff Awards for the best receiver in the country. Michael Crabtree of Texas Tech, the only other player who's ever won it 2 years in a row. And Blackman earned it. And welcome back to ESPN's presentation of the 2012 Tostitos Fiesta Bowl. Justin Blackman, both touchdowns for Oklahoma State. That touchdown drive took 38 seconds, just 2 plays. The nation's leading 23rd touchdown drive that took a minute or less. And to their credit, they changed offensive coordinators. Dana Holgerson put in a lot of this offense, the up-tempo ideas. He left to go to West Virginia as the head coach. Todd Monken came from the NFL, had not been coaching in this type of a system, but he learned it and in some ways improved on it. Sharp's kickoff. And Montgomery needed no assistance from Stewart this time.
Sean, we talked about it earlier. When you have a great player and they get frustrated, which is what he was early in this game, and then he expressed his frustration. And when you see that, when you know he's 100% bought in, then you feed him. And you continue to feed him. The first is a score. The second one was just about power, which is what he is. And then his speed on top of it. You have woken up the cowboy. He is the cowboy.
We speculated early if that thigh injury was bothering him. It certainly does not appear to be. He just started slowly tonight. Here's Todd Monken. What a great job he's done. He stepped in and basically learned the system they were already using. He came from the Jacksonville Jaguars. Certainly not a spread up-tempo offensive team. Here's Andrew Luck with multiple wide receivers. Ty Montgomery stumbled ahead to the 25-yard line. Good for a 25-yard gain to the 45. 1st and 10, Stanford.
He sees that it's a zone. And so what they do to the right side is they take the receivers and they run them off. And then you take Montgomery and you fill the void with Montgomery, knowing that you've run everybody off. Big play.
You can really see the true freshman Montgomery coming on with more playing time. He stepped in for Chris Owusu, who was lost for the year after a couple of concussions. 5 receivers again, spread the formation for Luck. On 1st and 10, short for one of his roommates, Griff Whalen, who came as a walk-on with some academic scholarship help from the Toledo, Ohio area. Sent tapes around to about 70 different schools. Got a phone call from Jim Harbaugh. Jim liked the fact that Whalen was an outstanding student and liked what he saw on the football tapes as well. comes from great bloodlines, as you saw, his great uncles, Tom Seaver.
Really haven't had a lot of tight end play to here tonight. They've gone to Montgomery a bunch and Whalen, but not so much of the tight ends.
Luck after the pump fake. Whalen's open.
Oh, that's a beautiful throw.
And he's out of bounds at the 20-yard line. Broderick Brown knocked him out. Here comes Stanford on the move, trying to reclaim the lead.
Broderick Brown on the top. Now he takes that pump. That little hesitation is the bump and the bite. And then it's over the top. And it's, I mean, you can't throw it better than that.
Well, Luck and Whalen spent a lot of time together. I mentioned they are roommates. Center Schwartzstein and the right guard DeCastro, their other two roommates. Luck said Whalen's the kind of guy who just drives you crazy. He always has to be doing something. Bouncing a ball, hitting golf balls. Luck throws, caught. There's the tight end Kobe Fleener. Marked down at the 14-yard line with a 6-yard pickup.
Everybody's talked about Andrew Luck and what makes him so exceptional. Now he does things like this is next level things. He pumps, uses his eyes, he's moving defenders, he's making them bite on things. He knows that Broderick Brown on the outside is an aggressive defender, so he eyeballs him, pumps it, comes off it, and then does it again. He's way ahead of the game.
Power formation now for the Cardinal. Taylor squirts through and has the first down to the 8-yard line. It'll be 1st and goal for Stanford with under 4 minutes to go in the first half.
Sean, this Stephen Taylor is an impressive kid. If you have not watched Stanford and you just see, oh, they got another 1,000-yard runner, you don't really appreciate what he does. This is a hard runner. He runs with great leverage, runs behind his pads, and he has an ability to burst into things at the end of the run, rather.
He's rushed for 78 yards in the half. Luck dumps it short to the fullback Hewitt to the 4-yard line. Gain of 4. Alex Elkins helped him across the boundary. It'll be 2nd and goal.
And so Stanford has 2 straight touchdowns scored on them. They have to answer, and they do. How do they do it? With their quarterback. They come back, throwing the football down and patiently taking what the defense gives them, as you can look at it here. 63 of 64 possessions.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's amazing.
He's thrown 26 touchdowns without a turnover in the red zone, Andrew Luck. That's why you have those numbers. You have a great quarterback. He gets in the right plays and throws it to the right people. He handed it off to Taylor, who slipped down. They only missed 1 time all year in the red zone. That was in their win over Cal when they went 4 out of 5 in the red zone. How about those numbers? 26 touchdowns, no interceptions in the red zone.
Kellen Moore not too shabby either.
No.
What a great year he had.
But really more than that, it's Luck's intelligence. Son of a quarterback, his dad, Oliver Luck. Professional player after a great career at West Virginia. Luck exceptionally bright. Gives it to Taylor. Breaking tackles. Touchdown. Caleb Levy whiffed behind the line of scrimmage. And that was all she wrote.
And that was Taylor's ability to burst at the point. And that allowed him to be able to pull away from Levy on the inside. Here comes DeCastro. There's Hewitt right there. See, he just takes, boom. He just gets through that thing, and then he walks into the end zone.
Up to 82 yards for Taylor, who averages 96 yards per game. We'd have a better average than that if they weren't tailback by committee as well. We've seen all 4 of them carry the ball tonight. Williamson's extra point put Stanford back up by 7. Impressive response after their 14-0 lead went out the window. Wednesday night, 8 Eastern on ESPN, the ACC champion Clemson Tigers make their first appearance in the Orange Bowl since 1982, and they take on Geno Smith and the Big East co-champs, the West Virginia Mountaineers. The Discover Orange Bowl on ESPN, ESPN Radio, ESPN3, and also streaming live on WatchESPN.com, the Watch ESPN app, Wednesday at 8 Eastern. Stephon Taylor, the 4-yard touchdown run, capping an 80-yard drive for the Cardinal in 8 plays. Luck was 5 for 5 for 71 yards on the touchdown drive.
225. Oklahoma State can have 3 scoring drives in that amount of time.
Williamson's kickoff down to Josh Stewart. He came out to the 23. Stanford, 9th in the country in time of possession. Last year they led the nation at over 34.5 minutes per game. And Oklahoma State near the bottom, proving that time of possession really doesn't mean much when you score as quickly as they do. Tonight it's 21 minutes and 21 seconds of possession time for Stanford to 6:14 for Oklahoma State. Well, they're another quick drive away from a tie game. They can execute the 3rd possession in a row. Whedon gets them off to a good start in that direction. It's Colton Chelf, the senior, originally a walk-on out of Enid, Oklahoma. Just his 18th catch of the year and 2nd tonight. Both big plays. This one 28.
Yeah, the backer stumbled underneath. He was running with them, but Shelf got on top of it, and because of the protection, right on the money.
Whedon gets away from the rush. Now has plenty of room. Throws for Chelf again. Ruled in bounds with a first down to the Stanford 38-yard line.
That time they were able to move him off the mark. And his foot's in.
Yep.
Foot's in when he makes the catch. Good call.
Ben Oldham's the replay official. He hasn't had much to do yet tonight.
Stanford, that is their 2nd charge timeout. This will be a 30-second timeout.
Sean, as we watch this catch, no, he has control. He has a foot in. It is a good catch. Right there. Great control.
Toes are down.
Yep. Also, know this. It appears that both of these offenses have figured out defensively what's happening to them. And so now they've kind of settled down and they've taken control of their games.
And that can happen, Matt, especially in a bowl game. You have 4 or 5
Sure.
weeks to prepare. The defense can give you looks you haven't seen before.
I know
these teams are so well coached on offense, they adjust back.
I know for Stanford, what they wanted to be able to do was make Whedon get off his mark and make him move. But what they underestimate with Brandon Whedon is he throws the ball extremely well on the run. I think it's one of the things that happens with Peyton Manning. They'll say the same thing, like, you got to make him move. Peyton Manning can throw on the move. This kid, he can do the same things.
It's interesting you mentioned Peyton Manning. Of course, one of the subplots here, this is the last game for Andrew Luck. Yesterday, the Indianapolis Colts lost, and they will have the #1 pick. There's been much speculation that Indianapolis would take Andrew Luck. They are reviewing this play. I guess the question is, does he have possession while those toes are dragging and still in bounds?
What we can't see from this angle is if he's bobbled it or not. Let's take a
We'll
look
see
at
it
that.
from this angle.
He catches it out in front of him. And that looks like it's a catch to me.
Yep, he's
Looks like
not
he had
juggling it.
Yeah, had control all the way through. Nice job of keeping the foot down. You only need 1 in college, and he has it clearly in bounds. Drags it through.
Field has confirmed it was a good catch.
And what we were talking about, Matt, that whole Indianapolis Andrew Luck thing, there were a lot of interesting twists and turns. Brian Polian is the special teams coach at Stanford, obviously very familiar with Andrew Luck. Bill Polian, the vice chairman. Chris Polian, Bill's son and Brian's brother, both let go today in a stunning move to many by the Indianapolis Colts. So now you have no idea who's going to be making that decision about whether or not it'll be Andrew Luck with the first pick.
I don't care who makes the decision. He's the right guy.
No doubt. Tough day for Brian Polian, as you might imagine. Hard to believe there's an executive out there better than Bill Polian with his resume in the National Football League, but the Colts are going to try to find that person. Good luck to them. I was stunned by that. Colton Chelf, the intended target, and I'm sure you were too, Matt. You spent a lot of years in the NFL as a player and as an executive, and that's a Hall of Fame resume. Built the Bills into that year after year Super Bowl powerhouse, started the Carolina Panthers, got them into a title game in their 2nd year, and the great success in Indianapolis.
Yeah, I was on the competition committee with him, and Bill is one of those guys who is in control. He's a guy who knows exactly what he wants and which direction he wants to go.
2nd and 10. Blackman looked like he might have juggled it for a moment, but held on. 32-yard line will be where they mark it. And 1:40 to go. All kinds of time for Oklahoma State. Well, they can go up and down the field several times with this much time at their disposal and all 3 timeouts. 3rd down and 5.
And they're going to set the formation. So they're trying to attempt to get a single up top here with Justin Blackman.
I think we saw something almost resembling a huddle. Shockingly, from the Oklahoma State offense. Whedon throws, and it is incomplete. Good effort by Josh Cooper on a ball that was just a little bit short. And Mike Gundy has the decision to make. They would be in range for a long field goal. It would be about a 50-yarder from here. And the long for Quinn Sharp is 46.
They're going to go for it.
Fourth and 5. Trailing by 7 late in the first half. The Cowboys going for it. And they convert. Blackman breaks the tackle. Well, got slowed enough that Jarek Lancaster had time to drop him inside the 10-yard line. 23 yards on the play to Blackman on 4th and 5.
I thought that's what they were going to do on the previous down, Sean. By formation, they singled him on the outside, ran a nice route. He widened the defender first.
Joseph Randall. The clock runs under a minute left in the half. He runs to about the 7 for a 2-yard pickup. 2nd and goal.
In that last play, you saw Justin Blackman when he came off the ball, he widened, and it made the defender get a little bit more to the outside, and then he came back inside.
Flag on the play. Tom Ritter's our referee. As you might expect, these are among the best officials in the country. Their reward for outstanding work throughout the season is a big BCS bowl game.
Substitution infraction on the defense. The 12th player did not get off the field. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
And that can happen against Oklahoma State with the up-tempo. Mentioned Tom Ritter and his crew. Tom Ritter and many members of this crew worked the regular season game between LSU and Alabama. The rematch upcoming on January 9th for the national championship, the All-State BCS national championship game. 1st and goal just inside the 5. Randall again. He is a touchdown scorer, 4th in the country in scoring points this year with 150, but denied there. At about the 2, it'll be 2nd and goal after the Oklahoma State timeout, leaving the Cowboys with 2. And a chance to visit with Heather Cox.
Well, Sean, in 2010, Justin Blackman met 9-year-old Olivia Hamilton. She's battling cancer, and Justin made several visits to her in the hospital. Then Olivia came to watch Justin play and left a gift for him in his locker. It was a bracelet that says, "Lives, Laugh, Beats All." It's the acronym for the type of cancer she has, acute lymphomoblastic leukemia. Now, Justin's worn that bracelet ever since and says every time he looks down at that bracelet, he sees her. I'm happy to report Olivia's at the tail end of her 108 weeks of chemotherapy, is now in clinical remission, in 4th grade, on the cheer squad, and cheering her heart out for Justin and the Cowboys tonight, thanks to a very generous Oklahoma State fan that saw her story and wanted her to be here.
Little on the shy side.
Yeah, and they've become great friends. A lot of times players go visit patients in children's hospitals, and it's a one-time thing. They've remained in constant contact. He has to be excited about what Justin has done tonight. Already 2 touchdowns. Whedon, after the play fake, throws for Blackman. Broken up by Terrence Brown. He had another receiver wide open going toward the far sideline, but was locked in on Blackman.
This is really well defended. They do a nice job. Now that could have been a touch right there. Initially, when I saw it, looks like they were going to take him away completely and bracket him. And then the safety dropped down and just left him on the corner. Again, here we go. It's 5 receivers out, 5 wides, 3 to one side, 2 to the top side. Blackman's the guy. He's up top.
Whedon does not have a rushing touchdown. Wonder about a quarterback draw. Not very likely, but there it is. And he has one. Touchdown, Oklahoma State.
Nice call, my friend. Not the most gifted runner, but the most willing one probably on the team. Knew what he had to do and got it done.
Another thing these two great quarterbacks have in common is their competitiveness. Extra point away from a tie with under a half minute to go in the first half, and it's up and good from Quinn Shard. There's Brandon's wife, Melanie, in the gray sweater on the aisle. Been married for about 2 years. You mentioned earlier he's 28 years old. Apparently there are some people who play party games, and every time that's mentioned, there is a liquid refreshment consumed. But it does get mentioned a lot. Brandon Whedon played 5 years of minor league baseball, was a top prospect as a pitcher, drafted in 2002 out of high school by the New York Yankees in the second round. $565,000 signing bonus got him to choose professional baseball over a football career. Baseball was his first love. He never did really excel in the minors. 3 different organizations, the Yankees for 2, the Dodgers for 2. He was once a minor league teammate in Columbus, Georgia, of Matt Kemp, the Dodgers star. And then one final year at Kansas City's chain. He hurt his arm. Says it still hurts him to throw a baseball. His shoulder aches when he does it, but no pain at all to throw a football with the different motions.
Well, every now and then you'll see a little bit of the baseball come out of him with different throws that he can make, but he's sure he can throw that ball, and he spins it well, and he's accurate.
We talked about the Stanford coaches wanting to move him off his spot. The defensive coordinators, Derek Mason and Jason Tarver, so he wanted to knock him off his pitcher's mound where he likes to set up at 7 to 10 yards deep. Montgomery takes a knee. Brandon Whedon walked on in 2007. What a story his career at Oklahoma State's been. Coming up at the half, stay tuned for Reese Davis, Jesse Palmer in the Buick halftime report. Already some exciting action. That Outback Bowl today between Michigan State and Georgia had a dramatic finish, and the Rose Bowl, as expected, was terrific as well.
There's Jesse DeBody and Reese.
Do they have enough people pampering them? I mean, we're lucky if we can get a bottle of water up here in the booth. They have people feeding them grapes and fanning them. Luck takes a knee. And pretty much what we expected. A slow start unexpectedly, but it has developed into the offensive battle that we expected, and each team doing it in its own style.
Both being patient, both feeding the guys who can get them in the end zone. Blackman on one side, Taylor, and using Luck on the other side.
4 catches, 139 yards, and 2 scores for Blackman in the half. Here's Heather.
Sean, thanks so much. Coach, how would you assess the way your defense has handled Oklahoma State's pace so far?
I think we've done well outside of a few big plays. You know, we've done a good job against the run. You know, Justin Blackman is as good as advertised. We got to make sure that when he catches the ball, we got to get him on the ground.
Before the game, your message to Andrew Luck was not to take too many risks. How would you assess his decision-making so far?
I think he's playing really well. You know, the defensive back made a heck of a play on the interception, but the no huddle we did to get Marsh down the field, Andrew on top of his game right now.
Coach Shaw, thanks. We'll let you get to your team. Sean?
All right, Heather, thank you very much. How impressive is David Shaw?
That is a very impressive coach.
What a job he's done, stepping into the big shoes of Jim Harbaugh. At the half, Stanford and Oklahoma State tied at 21. Coming up, stay tuned for Reese, Jesse, and the Buick Halftime Report right after these messages. Back to ESPN's presentation of the 2012 Tostitos Fiesta Bowl from Glendale, Arizona. Number 3, Oklahoma State. Number 4, Stanford, tied at 21 at the half. After a slow start for both teams offensively, the numbers really started to pile up. 307 total yards for the Cardinal, and the big edge as expected in time of possession. And Oklahoma State, after just 27 yards in the first quarter, had 250 for the half. Welcome back, Sean McDonough, Matt Millen, rejoined shortly by Heather Cox. It turned out to be what we expected it would be after the slow start.
Yeah, and so a couple things have to happen here in the second half. I think for Stanford, they've got to figure a way to be able to throw the ball down the field more than they have in the first half. Except for one blown coverage, they pretty much were playing inside of a box. And then for Oklahoma State, well, they found Justin Blackmon. And Stanford's going to have to find an answer to Blackmon, and that's not going to be an easy task.
Brandon Whedon and Andrew Luck moving their teams up and down the field in the second quarter. In particular, Jordan Williamson kicks off for Stanford, down to the 5 to Justin Gilbert. And he's pulled down by Michael Thomas at the 30-yard line. Here's Heather.
Sean, I just had a chance to catch up with Mike Gundy, and he admitted his quarterback, Brandon Whedon, started the game very nervous, as evidenced by that first pick. He said once Brandon settled down, our entire offense did. We got into speed, rhythm, and tempo, and that's when we're at our best. Defensively, he said we must tackle better. Gundy feels they gave up about 100 yards due to poor tackling in the first half.
They started slowly. First 4 possessions, an interception on the first play of the game thrown by Whedon, their first play. Then 3 punts, but they were outstanding in the second quarter. And Whedon on target. First throw of the second half to Colton Chelf for a 5-yard gain. And they come up very quickly to the line now, as quickly as they have all night.
And then they caught him too.
And it's Joseph Randall, yanked down by Jarek Lancaster, short of the first down by about 2. They haven't been able to get the running game going. Randall now with just 12 yards.
They haven't converted on third down here tonight. This is their best shot at doing it, 3rd and 1.
Inside handoff, and they do convert on third down. As Randall took it to the 42, where he's tackled by Chase Thomas.
What a job Mike Gundy's done with his Oklahoma State program. In just a few years, he's taken them right to the BCS where he wanted to be. But what I'm really impressed with him is he projects a calm demeanor to his team. Never gets flustered, and it's a carryover. You see it with his group.
He's really grown and matured into the job. Whedon throws short. Oh, a tough break for Oklahoma State. Randall was wide open with plenty of running room, but he went down to a knee to catch it, so they settle for a gain to the 47, a pickup of only 5. They could have had twice that if he stayed on his feet.
Going this 3-by-1 set. They move Blackmon around a lot. You can see his knee go down right there. They move Blackmon around. It's kind of like, where's Waldo with him? You have to be aware of him, and you have to be able to find and identify him. He's up in the top in the slot.
Oklahoma State has not led tonight. 3-man rush for Stanford and a incomplete pass. Good effort by Chelf, who's been very actively involved tonight. Had just 16 catches all year coming into tonight's game. He's at 4 tonight. There is a flag on the play. And a relatively penalty-free game to this point. Oklahoma State flagged just once, Stanford 3 times.
Illegal formation on the offense. Number 71 was not on the line of scrimmage. That penalty is declined. 3rd down.
Parker Graham, backup right tackle.
3rd and 5. Big down here for the Stanford Cardinal. They've got to try to get off the field to get the ball back.
Levy Adcock not in the game at right tackle for Oklahoma State. He's first team all Big 12 for the 2nd year in a row. On 3rd and 5, Whedon is sacked, pulled down back at the 37-yard line by Trent Murphy, who's from right here in the Valley of the Sun. And Matt Masafilo.
Watch what they did, Sean. At the end, they stemmed, they moved late, and then they attacked the protection. They moved their guys right at the end, and it forces the offensive line to have to hesitate. And that hesitation is what allowed them to be able to get in and make the sack.
They came in with 38 sacks for the year, 6th in the country. They bring a lot of pressure. Loss of 9, forces a punt by Quinn Sharp. Fielded on the bounce. Some running room for Drew Terrell. And out to the 41. Andrew Luck will take the field for the first time in the second half, with the Cardinal and Cowboys tied at 21. Welcome back to ESPN's presentation of the 2012 Tostitos Fiesta Bowl. Stanford doesn't throw the ball deep very often. They don't have a lot of speed outside of receiver, but they've been effective tonight, Matt, when they have gone deep down the field.
Yeah, he's 2 out of 3 past 15 yards. But think about that, Sean. The majority of his throws were all underneath because they can't really push it down the field. They had one blown coverage, and that was the one big play. But that puts a lot more pressure on the quarterback to be more accurate in a shorter space.
Tied at 21. First possession of the second half for the Cardinal. Quick hitter to the speedy Ty Montgomery. And it looked like he got tackled by the towel, or he might have been off to the races. Markel Martin, he yanked him down at the 42 of the Cowboys, a 17-yard gain.
Those towels can be dangerous. Sometimes they could knock an eye out. You never can tell. But at the very least, they make a tackle. Well blocked on the perimeter, and then he just hits it in that crease.
And now Stanford coming up quickly to the line.
This works to the advantage of their quarterback and this offense. He has the whole offense in his brain, and he can run anything up there. He calls anything.
A good field position after the 26-yard punt return by Terrell. Now it's Taylor dancing in space. A little stiff arm, and then he lowered the shoulder to Justin Gilbert to get the first down.
Sean, did you see at the end of that with Taylor? He knew where the sticks were at the end. He just dropped his level, and man, he just bore right into it. That is really well done. Watch the awareness. There's the sticks. Now watch them sink. Sink and come through right there. Boy, that's good.
So look from our DirecTV Ultimate Picture Cam. Here they come again. Taylor pinballed around at the 28-yard line. Chopped down by Broderick Brown. Finished off by Nigel Nicholas. But a gain of 5. And Taylor approaching the 100-yard mark.
Yeah, the pinball wizard in there. And he does come with a twist. He has very good, what is it called again? Kinesthetic sense.
That's your thing.
Body part awareness. Very good job of his ability to make his body go where he wants it to.
Second and 5.
Pressure.
On the delay, Taylor. Markel Martin up from his safety spot, stuffed the run with help from Caleb Levy. No gain on the play.
That's what Stanford wants to do. You heard Jesse Palmer talking about it at the half. They want to be able to get those safeties committed down inside. Committed to the run, then they'll take their shot over the top. Big third down here for this Cowboy defense. Twan Lowe 8, Markel Martin 10. Those are the two. You watch them drop down. They form the numbers in the box.
Andrew Luck having a conversation with the officials. And there's a stoppage in play.
There was a malfunction of the 25-second clock. Therefore, there is no timeout charged to Stanford. Third down.
See the umpire standing over the ball, and then the referee will start the clock right now. Now he'll walk off it.
And both the play clock and game clock are moving. Just underway, third quarter. Still tied at 21. That was the halftime score. For those who tuned in late, Stanford led 14-0. Scored first for the 24th time in their last 27 games. And the catch made by Zach Ertz for the first down. And that's important that they get the lead. Bill Young, the defensive coordinator of Oklahoma State, said one of the best things that can happen to us is to get the lead, and then maybe we can take Stanford a little bit out of that comfort zone with the run game.
Yeah, and so far they haven't been able to do that. But he's called a heck of a game here tonight. He rolls the bones every now and then. And when he does that, he takes his chance with his blitzes and he brings numbers to his side. He's done well.
Taylor squirts through a hole and got stood up at the 15-yard line. But it's a gain of 6. Bill Young's been one of the best for a long time. 1968 graduate of Oklahoma State. He's been a defensive coordinator at Oklahoma, Ohio State, USC, Miami, and now back at his alma mater. And one of the really good guys as well.
Really good guy. And he was had a short stint up in professional football, Detroit Lions, as a defensive line coach. And at that time, he told me, you know, his heart was really back in college football. And boy, he has made his mark here.
103 yards rushing now for Taylor, his 6th 100-yard game of the season. And a little bit of a flinch by Jeff Mencken, the left end of that line. A false start against Stanford.
Prior to the snap, false start. 73 offense, 5-yard penalty remains, second down.
Apparently Cameron Fleming flinched too.
Fleming's number 73. He's up here. Just that little bit of fly in his shoulder, try to get it off. But
both
they
ends of
caught
the
him.
line bouncing.
Yep. Just a freshman. He's got a bright future. Big, powerful man.
Yeah, 6'6", 307. One of 3 new starters on that offensive line, but they're wrapped around the All-Americans at left tackle and right guard, Martin and DeCastro. Now to the outside comes Taylor. Oh boy, what a night he's having. Not a big run, but he did well to get every inch of that inside the 16-yard line for a gain of 5.
He got no help out of his pulling guard here. It's Yankee 54. Yankee can't quite get out there, so he has to use that on Broderick Brown, who's a very good open field tackler. Just a little dip back inside allowed him to get to the edge. He sets up this 3rd and about 4.
13th 100-yard rushing game. Only Darren Nelson and Toby Gerhart with more. Luck under center now, and a big 3rd down and 5, 8.5 to go, 3rd quarter. 21 all. Luck has his man. Touchdown, Zach Ertz.
Markel Martin fell down. You don't have to make a small mistake like falling down, which is a big mistake. He's going to get found. You're going to get found right away. Watch up top. You can see him in the slot. And it's about vision. And if you're going to back off, that was a mistake by Markel Martin. He backed off too soon on a 3rd and short. You're going to give up the 1st right away. He slid, and it gives up 6. And with the extra point, 7.
Well, Stanford has recaptured the lead. Ertz, the touchdown reception.
I think that's
16 yards.
ESPN College Football, the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl, is brought to you by Tostitos. Tostitos knows how to party. The Ford F-150, available with the efficiency and power of EcoBoost. Discover Card, it pays to switch, it pays to discover. And Allstate, play the Allstate Championship Challenge at allstatechallenge.com.
The Fiesta Bowl block party has been a favorite New Year's Eve celebration for locals and visiting college football fans. More than 1 million people have enjoyed the Fiesta Bowl block party over the years. Zach Ertz with the 20th touchdown reception by a tight end for Stanford this year. More than half of their touchdown catches from the 3 tight ends, Ertz, Toilolo, and Fleener.
That's Zach Ertz in high school. Had my old teammate Brent Jones as a coach.
There's a pretty good tight end.
That's a pretty darn good one.
Learn from Danville, California's Ertz hometown. The great former tight end of the 49ers, Brent Jones, really taught Ertz how to play that position. Justin Gilbert brings back Williamson's kickoff. Nice move to get away from Batamosi. Still going. Across midfield, and the late flag thrown right as the tackle was being made. We noted earlier Gilbert has returned 4 kickoffs in his career for scores, 2 of them this year. 50-yard return, but there is the flag at the very end of it.
There is no foul on the play. First down, Oklahoma State.
It's a good job by the officials to be able to confer, talk it out, and then make the right decisions. Important to get it right. That's a nice move right there to get him to the edge. And then just good vision, Sean, cutting back inside. The kid's got some run skills.
Oklahoma State's been playing from behind most of the night. They have not led in the game. They rallied from 14-0 down to tie it, then fell behind 21-14, tied it again, and trying to tie it yet again. Jeremy Smith gets the carry, a gain of 1. Here's Heather.
Right before Brandon Whedon took the field, Mike Gundy came over to him and said, we need to play with more tempo, more speed. We thought they were already playing fast. We'll see how much faster they can go.
We do have the first team all-conference right tackle Levy Adcock back on the field.
And an All-American.
His 27th straight start. They have one of the best centers in the country in Grant Garner. They fake a reverse handoff to Blackman. Threw it short to Randall for about 2 more. Chase Thomas and Terrence Brown on the stop for Stanford.
Yeah, nicely done by Terrence Brown. He makes that play, but Chase Thomas is the guy because he forced him from the inside out. There was no cutback lane because of great hustle.
3rd down and 7. Oklahoma State 2 out of 7 on 3rd down tonight. Cardinal showing a blitz.
Ooh. Little scared down here. He started to back up off of Blackman.
Whedon changing the play. Play clock at 6. They rush just 4, and it's dropped by Cooper. That's a rarity. Might have been turning to see what he needed for the first down. Instead, it's 4th and 7.
Tarpley was right there, number 17, but you're right, Sean. This is usually money. Cooper's one of those guys who, like I said earlier in the game, he's a chain mover, and he's usually a guy who's extremely dependable, and that one bit him in the rear.
Quinn Sharp in the punt. Terrell back deep for it. He's the leading punt returner in the Pac-12 this year, 12 yards per return. Another moon ball from Sharp. And it'll be down inside the 3 by Josh Stewart. .641 left 3rd quarter. And the long field looking at Andrew Luck and the Cardinal offense. Andrew Luck from Stanford is one of 4 finalists for the AT&T All-American Player of the Year. He passed for 3,170 yards and 35 touchdowns in the regular season. The Heisman Trophy runner-up for the 2nd straight year. Text vote 55862 from your mobile phone to vote for your choice for the AT&T All-American Player of the Year and a chance to win a trip to the All-State BCS National Championship game. The other finalists are Monty Ball of Wisconsin, Robert Griffin III, and Alabama's Trent Richardson, and the winner will be announced during the All-State BCS National Championship game. Luck's missed on only 3 passes tonight. On their 4 touchdown drives, he's a perfect 12 for 12. From their own 3, leading by 7, and a fumble recovered by Oklahoma State. As it looked like Micah never got the handoff, and Markel Martin came up with it.
Poor ball handling inside. Just going to be that fullback. Just wants to just get on it quick. And he's reversing out. The ball is inside. He got a little bit high.
Yeah, up in the
got it high
pads.
up on his pads.
2nd turnover of the night for Stanford. A look from our DirecTV Ultimate Picture Cam.
Sean, the fact that Markel Martin was right there at the line of scrimmage lets you know they dropped their safeties down fast.
Brandon Whedon out of the gun. 1st and goal from the 4. Touchdown to tie. Randall down to the 2. Matt, when we talked to Bill Young yesterday about all the takeaways, the national leading total for the Oklahoma State defense, he said everybody practices stripping the ball and trying to get takeaways. What's the key? He said, well, a lot of it is just luck. And there was just luck. Bad handoff. They give you the ball on the 4-yard line.
It was Andrew Luck. You're right.
From the 2. Randall again.
Oh, nice hit.
Yeah, and he spun forward to the 1. Kind of going with a Stanford approach. Extra people in the backfield here down near the goal line. 3rd and goal from the 1.
Leno Howell, number 26, he showed up in a bad mood at that line of scrimmage.
Parker Graham back in there for Adcock at right tackle. Whedon out of the gun. Fakes it this time to Randall. Throws, man open, low throw, and it's incomplete. Looking for Kai Staley, the fullback. There's an injured Oklahoma State Cowboy on the play.
Brandon Whedon's going to want that one back, Sean. He waited too long for it. He had him wide open in the back. That might be Parker Graham, the tackle, but he waited too long. He threw it behind him. And, you know, even
Still
with that, should have been caught.
But it wasn't a perfect throw, certainly. Luck knowing that they had some right there. Staley is a frequent target. Fullbacks typically don't touch the ball much in this day and age of college football, but he has 10 catches. Parker Graham is the injured player, and we'll be back right after this. Parker Graham helped off the field. We mentioned a couple of times about Adcock, Levy Adcock, but he's actually playing left tackle tonight. We had him listed on our charts as the starting right tackle, but it's been Graham at right tackle most of the game. He's been helped off. They're going to kick a field goal on 4th down and goal, a 19-yarder. Up and good by Sharp. First field goal of the game for either team. And they get just 3 points after the turnover at the 4-yard line. Next Monday, January 9th, 8 Eastern, ESPN. Don't miss the marquee event of the college football season, 1 versus 2 in the All-State BCS National Championship game. Top-ranked LSU takes on number 2 Alabama in a rematch of their dramatic regular season game. Dramatic if you like defensive battles. And this time it's for all the marbles. The All-State BCS National Championship game on ESPN, ESPN Radio, 3D, ESPN 3. Watch ESPN.com Monday, January 9th at 8 Eastern. Your thoughts about the rematch?
Yeah, we've talked so much about the defenses, and both defenses are extremely good. But this game is going to be determined by which quarterback shows up. The quarterback that will play the most mistake-free will be the team that wins. Because generally in big games like that, it's not that you beat the team, it's that you don't lose it. And so you do that by making fewer mistakes.
Of course, Oklahoma State narrowly missed being in that game. Mike Gundy saying, wouldn't people rather see a 39-36 game than another 9-6 game? He wanted to see his high-flying offense against that LSU defense. But didn't get the chance. Ty Montgomery tackled by Joe Mitchell.
Sean, let's take a look at that Stanford running game, what they're doing tonight. This is what Andrew Luck does so well. He gets to the line of scrimmage, and he calls the play to always give you an advantage number-wise. You see 3 defenders, he brings another one and makes it 5 or 4 versus 3. Again, here's 5 on one side, 3 to the other. He goes to the 3 side. Anytime you have a matchup where you can balance the numbers, or in some instances, gain a number by pulling a guy, that is an advantage to you offensively. That's what Luck has done so well.
Stanford having another good night rushing the ball. And it's Taylor doing the bulk of it. Howard ahead for a little more than 2. Caleb Levy made the tackle. Down to 5 minutes left, third quarter. Stanford has never trailed, leading now by 4 as the Cardinal defense did a terrific job after the offense turned it over inside the 5-yard line, forced a field goal.
Sean, defensively, as you look at Bill Young, their defensive coordinator for Oklahoma State, defensively it's all about gaps, defending gaps. Each individual defending a gap, then collectively you handle it. But when you get a numbers differential and you're 3 on one side, you gain an advantage when you bring the 4th into play and that destroys your gap concept.
Luck back to throw. Throws, caught, first down. Out to the 33-yard line. Griff Whalen finally wrestled down to the ground. Gain of 14.
So we're saying they don't have a lot of speed, and they don't really have any big playmakers. And so you say at home, well, then how do they get open? Well, when you're playing zones, when you have a guy who runs very disciplined routes and knows the holes and is on the same page as the quarterback, you get open.
Stanford up to the line quickly in a very tight formation. And Taylor running left, following the fullback Hewitt. Leaps ahead to the 40. Gain of about 7.5. And let's check in with Heather.
Sean, the Oklahoma State offense will be without right tackle Parker Graham. He's being taken out on the cart right now. He suffered a lower right leg injury. They're taking him back to receive x-rays on that shin, but he will not return for the Cowboys tonight.
And now Caleb Levy slow to get up. Their starting middle linebacker, third leading tackler for the year.
That guy there is, he's kind of the brains of that front seven. He gets everybody lined up. Looks like he's maybe got the breath knocked out of him or something. Hopefully that's all it is. As he goes airborne at the end of this thing. Yeah. It probably just gets landed on too much. Sometimes, you know, you've been in those situations where it just all comes out of you at once and it just takes you a while to get it back.
And thankfully, that is what it appears to be. Although I don't think Caleb Levy's all that thankful to have those few moments of discomfort.
Yeah. But now, by rule, he has to go out for at least one play, and then he'll be back in.
And by rule, there's very little the training staff can or wants to do to help him. 2nd down and 3. Luck has gone out to the top of your picture. Tyler Gaffney is in at quarterback. Ordinarily a running back, and it's a design run, and Oklahoma State was not fooled by the interesting formation. Brian Robinson and Cooper Bassett combined for the stop.
Yeah, here's a hot tip. Keep Andrew Luck at quarterback. Yeah, as soon as you see that formation, they just blitzed it. And they brought more numbers than you could block. And the net result is 3rd and about 6.
Luck does have one catch this year, and it was a memorable play along the sideline when he made a leaping one-handed catch. Ball game against UCLA for a 13-yard gain. 3 minutes to go, 3rd quarter.
Big down here for this Oklahoma State defense.
Luck with Stewart on his hip. Stewart stays in the block. And it's complete to Fleener for a first down to the Cowboy 49-yard line. Zach Craig, a backup safety, and Daytwan Lowe made the tackle. And now it's Fleener slow to get up.
Well, this is only going to happen because they have good protection right here. And they bring pressure. So you've got 5 coming, and then it's Fleener on the backside. And Fleener push it up, and then he has good speed. But Andrew Luck, of course, is the key. Watch him. He thinks he has man-to-man, and when they're in man, you can do that. Go ahead and eyeball him the whole time. He knew where he was going. Well-thrown ball, and a first down.
Fleener, a senior, 6'5", 254, heading to the NFL. He runs about a 4.5 40. From Lamont, Illinois. How about the story he told us yesterday? He was being recruited by the previous staff. Walt Harris was the head coach. He got fired. There was no coach. He took his recruiting visit when there was no football coach.
There was
they
no
hadn't
one there.
hired Jim Harbaugh yet.
Exactly.
He met Tara Vanderveer, the legendary women's basketball coach, and she was very impressive. And he said basically Stanford sold itself when I was there. Play action fake. Luck has a receiver wide open. First down. It's Levine Toilolo, the 3rd tight end to catch a pass tonight for Stanford. He's down inside the 33. Luck's hit 11 in a row. That one good for 17 yards.
Another advantage of Luck is he can roll both ways, and he's effective both ways throwing. Throws on the run extremely well, and Toilolo is the recipient.
He's a big target at 6'8". 3 men in a line behind Luck. They shifted Minkin out. Now it's Jeremy Stewart spinning ahead. to the 25-yard line, a gain of 7. It'll be 2nd and 3. Wednesday night, 8 Eastern, ESPN. The ACC champs Clemson taking on West Virginia in the Discover Orange Bowl on ESPN, ESPN Radio, ESPN3, and streaming live on the WatchESPN.com and Watch ESPN app. Wednesday, 8:30. Oliver Luck, the AD at West Virginia's, father of Andrew Luck, and of course the head coach for West Virginia, Dana Holgerson, last year was the offensive coordinator at Oklahoma State. Taylor straight ahead for a first down, and again, every ounce of effort to get everything he can and finish the run at the 20. And coaches talk all the time about finish.
That's he does extremely well.
He sure does.
And you know, a lot of time where he's been finishing has been off his offensive left side. And the reason is because he's got a good one right there. Jonathan Martin, that offensive left tackle, he has been securing that left edge a lot tonight. He has been dominating on that side.
The top prospects in the upcoming draft, we assume, he is a junior, could come back, but the expectation is both he and David DeCastro, the junior right guard, will go. Ryan Hewitt couldn't catch the pass from Luck, and his consecutive completion streak's over. But we have, in the opinion of Todd McShay and Mel Kiper, 4 of the top 15 picks in the upcoming draft. If they all come out, they're all juniors. Yeah. Andrew Luck's coming out, Blackman's coming out.
And generally, the strength of every class, Sean, a draft class, is the junior class. They are the best players.
All 4 of them are expected to end their collegiate careers. Castro and Martin already have degrees. Andrew Luck does as well. He goes out of the gun on 2nd and 10. Look out from behind. He's sacked by Jamie Blatnick. His team leading 8th sack of the year for the senior from Salina, Texas.
Yeah, you can see right down here, it's Jamie Blatnick. And talk about getting vertical. See, they block down inside, and then Taylor tries to cut him. But Blatnick has the wherewithal to be able to just go right over the top. Jamie Blatnick has been fun for me to watch because he's a powerful kid. 500-pound bencher, which there are not many of those around.
And with athleticism, too, as we just saw, leaping over the block, 3rd and 16. Luck set up the little screen to Montgomery. Turns the corner. And out of bounds. But with a first down, there is a flag on the play.
On the edge, it may be on Whalen down the field with the hold. He comes up gimping, too. That's not good. He's the only speed they have in that offense.
On the outside receiver position, certainly, and it is against Stanford, wiping out an 18-yard gain and a first down.
And they'll take it from the point.
After the pass and during the run, holding number 17, offense, 10-yard penalty, replay 3rd down.
Watch him on the top side. Yeah, that's a good call. He hugged him initially, and he's still holding him right there.
Justin Gilbert being victimized. And as they run the clock, the quarter ends. As anticipated, the 41st Tostitos Fiesta Bowl has been a dandy. Still 15 minutes to go in regulation time, with the Cardinal leading by 4. We're back in Glendale, Arizona for the 2012 Tostitos Fiesta Bowl. Attractive matchup coming in, 3 versus 4 for just the 3rd time in the BCS era, which began in 1998 and it's lived up to the hype. Oklahoma State outscored 7-3 by Stanford in the 3rd quarter. So the lead again for Stanford is 4 points. And what did the 1st and 3rd quarters have in common? Justin Blackman didn't have a touch in either quarter. He had 4 of them for 139 yards and 2 touchdown receptions in that 2nd quarter.
Yeah, you don't want to put him in the witness protection program. You need to get the ball to him ASAP and as often as you can.
3rd and 13. A big stop for Oklahoma State if they could force a field goal try, and even if it's made, keep it a 1-score game. From the 23, Andrew Luck out of the gun. Tries to catch him off guard with a run by Stephen Taylor, and he very nearly got the first down. He came up only about a yard and a half shy. Tackled by Alex Elkins, who never played football until he went to junior college at Blinn Junior College. Made the team on an open tryout and started and is now a starting linebacker in the Big 12.
And playing pretty good and getting better.
So they do force a field goal try. 30-yard effort from Williamson, who barely missed earlier from 41. They failed to score in the red zone only one time all year, and that one just does hook back. So they're 4 for 4 in the red zone tonight with 3 touchdowns and a field goal.
Sean, let's see how fast they can find Justin Blackman, because Whedon has to find him.
And we're back at the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl, just underway in the 4th quarter. Stanford with the field goal has pushed the lead back to 7 with their 25th drive this year of 10 plays or more, most in the country. So they're the best team in the country at long scoring drives, and Oklahoma State the best at the quick strike. Both have lived up to form tonight. The kickoff was out of bounds from Jordan Williamson. So great field position to start this possession for Oklahoma State. Will they get the ball back to Justin Blackman?
Well, if they're smart, they will. Blackman is legitimately a great player, and great players make great plays. And when they get fired up like he did and insisted on getting the ball, then you oblige, because they can make plays like this. It's about power, powerful hands, his ability to break tackles. They need to get him involved. The 3rd quarter, they were void. Justin Blackman's letting him know right now, hey, here I am, get me the ball.
In the moment, it looks like he has single coverage with Terrence Brown. Whedon looks right, but throws down the middle, incomplete, intended for Colton Chelf, with Michael Thomas, the safety, flying by.
Sean, that's the look they want to give, but what they're doing at the snap of the Stanford Cardinal defense is they're taking the safety and they're sticking him over the top. They do not want Blackman to get on top of that coverage. You can see half the field, but there's a safety sitting on top of him.
And about 18 yards off the line of scrimmage. Whedon throws back for Cooper. Just a 2-yard gain. He was swung down immediately by Harold Bernard, who's really come on in the second half of the season as a pleasant surprise for the Stanford coaches.
3rd and long, big down, big play. Watch the screen, watch the draw.
They're a rhythm and tempo offense, and right now Oklahoma State has neither. 3rd down and 8. Whedon throws a wobbler, but it's caught by Cooper, and then he got hit out of bounds. There is no flag. He was knocked across the boundary by Bernard, and then Delano Howell came over right on the edge of what's allowed. 18-yard gain.
And they'll go with the hurry up right here after a big play. That's what they like to do.
40-yard line, 1st and 10. Quick hitter to Blackman, who slipped, and that contributed to just a 2-yard gain. Terrence Brown made the tackle, the sophomore from Torrance, California. Let's go back to the previous play.
When Cooper made the catch, the big deal, now you can see at the end, there's a hit as he's going out of bounds.
Yeah,
hence no flag. Yeah.
In a beautifully officiated game by this Southeastern Conference crew. Smith, the running back. Stanford brings 4. Thomas got there at the last instant. Whedon did get it off. Smith, the recipient, and he's a yard short of the first down to the 31 as we go under 13 minutes left in regulation time.
They go hurry up, but Chase Thomas is a guy you have to account for on this Stanford defense. Great hustle, great motor, and has pass rush skills.
Whedon, the quick sling this way. Cooper made a man miss and is down at the 19-yard line with a first down.
Yeah, right out there, Jordan Richards. It looked like his athletics reporter is still laying on the ground. Cooper made a miss. Big play. Here they go again, Sean. It's fast pace.
if I have time to say it between plays, Miles Mawagatu-Tui made the tackle for Stanford. Cooper yanked down by Delano Howell, was first team All Pac-12 at safety, despite the fact that he missed 3 games with a hand injury. You can see that right hand is still heavily wrapped. That's how much respect the coaches in the Pac-12 have for him. Missed 3 games, still first team. He is a big hitter in the back of that defense. 2nd and 8. A touchdown and the extra point to tie for Oklahoma State. 12 minutes to go. Weeding down the seam. Blackman again, a touchdown. His 3rd of the night.
That's completely on the safety. You have him back there for a reason, Sean. Lined up on the corner, and you're backing him up with the safety. Now you turn him over, and now he becomes a safety's player. Oh, he
slipped.
Yeah, it wasn't even close. Miles, say it again.
Mawagatu-Tia. Mawagatu-Tia.
Mawagatu-Tia. Yeah, Mawagatu-Tia had a slip. Not good.
The extra point good by Sharp. As the great Frank Broyles used to say with Keith Jackson, Weah is the safety man.
Exactly.
In this instance, he slipped. 3 touchdowns, 6 catches, 158 yards for Blackman in the tie.
ESPN College Football, the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl, is brought to you by Tostitos. Tostitos knows how to party. Taco Bell, think outside the bun. AT&T, an official sponsor of the Bowl Championship Series. And Bud Light, it's the sure sign of a good time. Here we go.
Here we go indeed. Set up for an extraordinary finish. Stanford and Oklahoma State tied at 31. Larry Fitzgerald, the star wide receiver of the Arizona Cardinals, enjoying this one. What a game he had yesterday. Several tremendous catches in their overtime win. And he has to appreciate the great work done tonight by the future NFLer Justin Blackman.
Yeah, Larry Fitzgerald is a rare one and a great one. And when the game is on the line, you get him the ball. And that's what the Cardinals did at the end. And Blackman's doing now.
Now it's the Cardinal on the return. Ty Montgomery bringing back the Quinn Sharp kickoff. He got knocked across the boundary near the 32 by Andre May. Here's Heather Cox.
The Stanford offense will be without tight end Kobe Fleener. The last series you saw him come off limping. They retaped his right ankle. He gave me a thumbs up, said he was good to go. And then as he jogged out, he immediately returned to the training table, had the tape removed. They've now put ice on it. I've been told that his return is doubtful. Good thing they have a deep core of tight ends, guys.
Yeah, but that's still a huge loss, as you know, Heather. 32 catches, 20 yards per catch. Leads all FBS tight ends in touchdown receptions, particularly a favorite of Luck in the red zone where they're so outstanding. From the 31, 1st and 10. Stanford has not trailed in this game. They're led by 14 at 14-0 early on. Stephon Taylor bounced back after he crossed the 35. Markel Martin made the hit. Senior from Wichita Falls, Texas, playing in his final game for the Cowboys.
Pretty aggressive by Markel Martin and Daytwan Lowe. Both those safeties, you can see him inching down again. Here he is.
And the formation would dictate that.
8-man front.
2 fullbacks in the game, leading the way for Taylor, who ran into the tight end Toilolo and slipped forward. Across the 38-yard line at a big 3rd down at about 3 here. A short 3 for Stanford with 11 minutes to go.
Stanford is very comfortable with getting to 3rd and 3. That's what they call 3rd and manageable.
Bill Young told us yesterday he was very surprised on 3rd down and 3. Stanford is almost always a passing team. He thought that was surprising given the strength of their power running game.
Bringing pressure.
And they do pass on 3rd and 3. Luck trying to run for the 1st down, and he gets it. Shoved out of bounds by Cooper Bassett. It is a first down for Stanford.
We said at the start of the game, he could beat you with his brain, he could beat you with his arm, and he could beat you with his legs. That's option C right there. Big first down.
6-yard run. Huge conversion. Better than 2-to-1 advantage in time of possession. The edge in total yards significant for Stanford, but they're tied at 31. Taylor threw a big hole. Seems to have another first down inside the 46 of Oklahoma State, where Alex Elkins
having a
made
big night. Yeah, having a really big night, Sean, is Taylor. And watch him. He's just going to foul 52 DeCastro with a nice block. They're pulling him on a power on the inside. And then it's get your eyes up. And like you talked about earlier, he finishes his runs really well. There's DeCastro, a projected first-round pick, a unanimous All-American this year. Had a great year. Out of Bellevue, Washington.
149 yards rushing for Taylor. On his way, it seems, to his career high. He might get it. Come very close to it on that run. He got to the 42-yard line. His career high is 153.
Again, it's David DeCastro on the inside. Just lower your pad level and then gets the movement. That's on Rashedi Jones. And he, again, like a good running back, he just keeps on driving his legs.
2nd down, 6. It is a career high for Taylor, trying to add to it. He has 154 before this carry. Trying to get away from Markel Martin, who wrestled him down, but it's another first down for the Cardinal at the 29-yard line. 12-yard run.
Nice job. Monken, number 10, does a good job of securing the edge. You can see him, and then here comes DeCastro again. It's everybody's assignment football. Get a guy on a guy. That's what they do extremely well. Nice job by Hewitt, 85. And then Markel Martin, with a good angle, is able to run him down.
Just have so many players on this team who filled the role so well, as you saw from our DirecTV Ultimate Picture Cam. Once again, Luck is not the quarterback. Tyler Gaffney is, and again he gets splattered. They've tried that twice, and it's been dropped for a loss both times. Jamie Blatnick said, "Get that nonsense out of here."
Oh, man. Blatnick shows up in an angry mood right here. See, Elkins does a nice job of forcing it back inside. DeCastro's on top of him, but because he holds the edge that time, Blatnick can lower the boom.
I think Gaffney might say to the coaches, you know, it's okay with me if Luck plays quarterback on every snap.
Exactly.
3-yard loss. They're back to the 30. Taylor in trouble, and they're going in reverse. Great penetration again. Martin up from the safety spot. Blatnick in there again.
And that's Bill Young, and he's bringing pressure. Markel Martin down, that's your safety. And he comes with the safety, putting him in the box. And because it's Lewis, 11, who makes the play. Lewis makes the play off the edge, forces it back inside. Martin and Blatnick make it and sets up this 3rd and long.
And they might have backed out of field goal range at this point. It would be a 50-yarder from here. The long for Williamson is 45. Long time in the huddle for Stanford. They break the huddle with 10. 3rd and 14. Tie game, approaching 7 minutes left. 14 yards to go. Luck flushed. Throws on the move. Caught! First down. Griff Whalen refusing to go down. Finally taken to the turf. Enormous 3rd down conversion. Back to the 13-yard line comes Stanford.
And a lot of layers to this. First is protection, and then it's ability to extend the play by going outside, and then it's Whalen who's able to come back to the ball in front of the defender, and the ball is perfectly thrown and well anticipated, Sean. That was a well anticipated throw when he saw Whalen make the break back.
On the move, perfect spiral, just the right height. The first passing play of the drive. They go back to the run, and Oklahoma State continues to stuff it. Taylor dropped for a loss back at the 16 by Ryan Robinson.
It appeared to me that they were going to try to okey-doke that time and try to jump out the backside. They were securing the edge on the left side. It looked like that time Taylor was going to hit the brakes and come out the other side. But Robinson did a nice job of holding the backside and staying deepest to deepest.
9 runs, just 1 pass. Lots of time coming off the clock in a tie game here in the 4th quarter. At the very least, they're in field goal range. They're in the red zone again, where they have failed to score only once all season. Luck rolls left, dumps it off to his buddy Whalen. Initial hit by Martin, and then Rashidi Jones took him across the sideline at the 10-yard line.
You know, Whalen and Luck are roommates, like you mentioned. And you mentioned about how Whalen kind of annoys him at times, always having to do something.
He's fidgety.
And Whalen says, well, what do you expect? The guy likes to go to bed at 10:30 every night. I got a kick out of that.
If you're going to play quarterback as Luck does, you need to get your rest. Here's a big play from the 10-yard line. Again, a long time in the huddle. And they're going to use a timeout.
Timeout. Oklahoma State has their first charge timeout of this half.
Cowboy defense calling the timeout. 3rd and 7 when we come back. A tie game with 5:12 to go. We're back at the spectacular University of Phoenix Stadium for ESPN's presentation of the 2012 Tostitos Fiesta Bowl. Stanford in the red zone trying to break the tie at 31 all. With 5:12 to go in the 4th quarter, they came in 98% of the red zone scoring this year, and they've actually improved on that with 4 for 4 tonight. 3 touchdowns and a field goal. 3rd down and 7. Just outside the 10-yard line. Need to get the 3 for a first down. Whalen back and forth and back again in motion. Fake to Taylor. Luck dumps it to Whalen. Banged out of bounds just shy of the goal line. Got the first down. Tried to get the 6, and Broderick Brown wouldn't let him do it.
Broderick Brown, the Bulldog. Boy, he's taking himself out. That was a collision down there. A big one. Well done. They bring him out of the backfield, sneak him into the flat, and then they roll him. Watch the hit. That's a big one. Broderick Brown knows he cannot let him into the end zone, and he gives you everything he's got. Lowers his pad level, runs through it.
And you know he doesn't want to come out. They call him Bulldog because he's as competitive as anybody Bill Young's ever met. From the goal line, it's Taylor surging, still fighting. And apparently in now, says the line judge. Touchdown in the lead for Stanford.
That looked like the old rugby scrum. Low man wins in football. Those of you high schoolers out there, get your pad level down and then finish. Finish. Don't stop your feet. Keep moving, whether you're an offensive lineman or a running back.
Wow. Well, at the very end there, it appears he got it to the goal line, and the line judge had a tremendous view of it, and the extra point's good. Michael Shirey right on the call. So Taylor having a career night. 162 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns. All kinds of time left, however, for Oklahoma State with 4:34 to go, down by 7. Welcome back to ESPN's presentation of the 2012 Tostitos Fiesta Bowl, developing into a classic. 13-play drive, 69 yards. Andrew Luck was 3 for 3 passing. Most of it was done on the ground. With Luck on their 5 touchdown drives tonight is 15 for 15 passing. They converted a 3rd and 3 when he ran for 6. They converted a 3rd and 14 when he threw to Whalen for 20. They have not trailed, but Oklahoma State has been answering all night long, and they have 4.5 minutes and 2 timeouts, and Whedon and Blackman at their disposal. And a very good kickoff return man as well. Justin Gilbert from the 2. And a quality run back to the 33. He was finally stopped by Harold Bernard. We hope for more excitement in the Orange Bowl, brought to you by Discover. West Virginia, the Big East Coast champions, ranked number 23, and Clemson in their first Orange Bowl since 1982 on ESPN Wednesday night, 8 Eastern, with our terrific crew of Mike Tirico, John Gruden, and Ron Jaworski.
Sammy Watkins, the freshman receiver. You talk about speed. He has it in spades.
Whedon throws short. 7th catch of the night for Blackman, who's caught 3 touchdown passes to tie the Fiesta Bowl record. Corey Gatewood, the converted wide receiver, made the tackle. It's a gain of 7. Darnell McDonald and Rhett Dawson, Kansas State and Florida State respectively, the others with 3 touchdown catches in a Fiesta Bowl. Late blitz. They still got a hit on Whedon, and the pass falls in the neighborhood of Blackman, but incomplete. And here's 3rd down and 3 with 4:05 to go.
That was an opportunity right there, and they missed it because they had single coverage, no safety. You see, they bring Leno Howell down inside, and they were trying to cover the middle of the field with the linebacker. Blackman had gotten there, but because of the pressure, they weren't able to complete it.
4 for 11 on 3rd down tonight. Not up to their usual standard. 3rd and 3 out of the gun. Whedon. Swing pass for Randall, looking for help and does not get it. Driven back by Delano Howell, the brilliant safety. And a decision for Mike Gundy. 4th down and 3 with under 4 minutes to go.
No hesitation. That was a great play, incidentally, by Howell. Worked off the blocker and made the tackle and sets up this huge 4th down.
Fourth and 4, Oklahoma State. 3.5 to go. They're at their own 40 and down by 7.
One-on-one outside with Blackman.
Whedon, the slant, caught by Blackman. 1st down and much more. To the 39 of Stanford. 21-yard gain. And the stars are shining brightly when it matters most on both sides tonight.
No hesitation. That's a gimme. You get one-on-one with him, throw it.
Stanford clearly winded in the rush. No pressure on Whedon. Randall running room down to the 20-yard line. 19 more. The Stanford defense very tired. Howell made the tackle. 3 minutes to go. Blackman's on the sideline trying to catch his breath.
They're walking around. You're right, Sean. They're gassed.
Both teams exhausted. Whedon, again plenty of time. Again a receiver inside the 5. Michael Harrison. What a time for his first catch of the night. His 20th of the year, good for 16. Blackman still on the sideline.
And Whedon's showing what he's got. Nice poise, no pressure. He's in control.
Randall, touchdown, Oklahoma State. The Stanford defenders tired and confused. And a lot of times the fatigue will mess with your mind as well. And an extra point from a tie with 2:35 to go.
It's all about decisions, Sean. Decisions under pressure. Whedon that time, flawless.
And Mike Gundy.
Mike Gundy
going
as well.
For the 4th down at his own 40. With plenty of time and timeouts left. Huge extra point here for Sharp. Missed only one all year, and he still missed only one all year. 38 apiece, 2:35 to go. That Oklahoma State drive took just 1 minute and 59 seconds to go. 67 yards in 7 plays.
Watch the hurry up. See, look at the Stanford defenders. Massafilo's they're just standing there.
No call. They didn't know the call, and it's interesting because they told us yesterday, the players, Chase Thomas, that in those situations they had a preset call they could just go to when they were confused and scrambling and about to be caught by the pace.
Seeing that whole thing there, that last play, you looked at Randall, and he went into the end zone. There was still some good hitting going on. They knocked his mouthpiece right out. You saw it come tumbling out in the middle of that picture.
That was the 24th rushing touchdown of the season for Joseph Randall. Only Barry Sanders has had more in a season. And only Barry Sanders has had more points in a season than Joseph Randall has put on the board this year. Waiting on the phone to Todd Monken. And now interesting, Stanford generally likes to drive it slowly. They might have to pick up the pace a little bit with 2:35 to go. Sharp leads the country in touchbacks. Kenny Barmore. Montgomery won't bring it out. Tonight's good hands play brought to you by Allstate. And a huge conversion on 4th and 3 from their own 40.
No brainer. You have one-on-one on the outside, and it's Justin Blackman. He's the best receiver in all of college football. And you got Corey Gatewood out there, and he's a converted receiver. And that was like stealing. Watch him, little bounce to the outside, opens his hips. Once his hips are open, Blackman's off to the race. Powerful. See how he just plucks it out of the air?
8 and 186 and 3 touchdowns for Blackman. 38 apiece. And now it's Luck's turn with 2:35 and 3 timeouts. Throws short and caught by Zach Ertz. They're without his favorite tight end target, Kobe Fleener, out with an injury.
He's in control. He's directing everybody at the line of scrimmage.
Who does he remind you of?
Peyton Manning. No question.
Might be a teammate of Peyton Manning. Might be the heir apparent to Peyton Manning. Throws short. Taylor has the first down. 32-yard line. Clock stops to move the chains. 1:56 and all 3 timeouts still for Luck and the Cardinals.
Now, I always have talked about this. It's not about the decisions. It's decision making under pressure. And that's what he does so well. Great poise.
306 yards passing for Luck tonight. Throws to Ty Montgomery. He's out of bounds with a 9-yard gain. And a field goal could well win it. Williamson has a long of 45 this season.
Wasn't so sure that the Oklahoma State Cowboys got everybody off the field in that one. They were still kind of stumbling off the sideline when that ball was snapped.
The freshman Williamson could be thrust into a huge spotlight in moments. 2nd down and 1. Luck has moved past John Elway on the Stanford all-time career passing yardage mark tonight.
Here comes pressure.
Right up the middle, Elkins, and it's a screen. Taylor trying to pick up blocks. Didn't get a lot, but got the first down to the 45. Minute 34 to go. Clock stopped. Sean Lewis made the tackle.
Well, I like that call. If that came from Andrew Luck, that's a heck of a call. Look at the discipline of the eyes to draw the coverage to the other side, and then here it comes.
Inside handoff. And Taylor to the 50. They want to score with as little time left on the clock. They know if they leave even a few seconds for Oklahoma State, that might be enough time for a Cowboy response.
They're about 25 yards away from a field goal.
Five-man rush. Here comes a 6th. Luck got it off. Jeremy Stewart up the near sideline. Inside the 30 and chopped down at the 25.
And there's your 25 yards. But that is all on Luck. He felt the pressure. Pressure in the face. Watch him scan. He sees the open receiver and just gets the ball right where it has to go. Great poise.
And another big play by Stewart in his last game for Stanford.
This is from right here, Sean, is a 42-yarder. They want more yards here, obviously. At 50 seconds, that's like 2 scoring drives for Oklahoma State.
I believe it's Daytwan Lowe, the injured player, their starting safety and leading tackler. I mentioned earlier that Andrew Luck's been perfect on the 5 touchdown drives, 15 for 15. He's 5 for 5 on this drive. Trying to end his remarkable Stanford career with a remarkable finish and a virtuoso performance.
Sean, at times, watching Andrew Luck, he bores you with completions. He bores you with efficiency and bores you with good decision making as they march down the field for a score.
Lowe being helped up. With all due respect to the great Robert Griffin III, in my opinion, this is the best football player in the country. And I think he's going to have a career like Peyton Manning and John Elway in the National Football League. We talked to David Shaw yesterday. Said, what kind of a year has Andrew Luck had? He says, it's the best I've ever seen anybody play the sport of football.
He knows what he's given him, to work with, and what he allows him to do at the line of scrimmage. And that's why he says those things.
A good timeout. I was just going to ask you, Matt, if Oklahoma State should start using its timeouts. Yep. Stanford has plenty of timeout. They're in field goal range. They have their timeouts. Oklahoma State has to start thinking about getting the ball back. Problem for them is they just have 1 timeout left.
You know, we've been talking about Mike Gundy and the job that he's done, but David Shaw on the other sideline in his first year taking this thing over. There are a couple things that surprised me a year ago. I was talking to John Madden this afternoon about this, and it was one of the things that he echoed. First, he was surprised that Andrew Luck came back. And then he was equally surprised that John Harbaugh left after he knew
Jim
Harbaugh left after he knew that Andrew Luck was going to stay. And what Harbaugh knew was that David Shaw was a guy who was very capable and very in charge and had a great understanding of not only this offense but this team. And boy, did he show that this year.
And what Jim Harbaugh also knew is the 49ers pay a little bit better than they do at Stanford.
And what a team, what a year they've had in San Francisco. What a great, that defense as good as there is in the National Football League.
Well, the nation's leading takeaway defense could really use one here. You know that they'll be protective of the ball. One of the other things these two teams have in common, in their only loss of the season, they each turned it over 5 times. They've learned the lesson. Taylor the carry, and Oklahoma State has the 1 timeout left, but they're not going to use it. And it's looking more and more like it's going to come down on the foot of the redshirt freshman, Jordan Williamson.
From the 20, that's a 37-yard field goal.
Saw David Shaw hold up 3 fingers. He might want the timeout for the field goal team with 3 seconds to go. Taylor stopped short of the first down. It would be 3rd down. They got him right in the middle of the field.
3 seconds, you're right on.
Coming up after the game, stay tuned for Sports Center right after the Ford BCS postgame show. A lot of highlights from some magnificent action all over these bowl games today.
And Sean, this will be a 34-yard field goal attempt. It's at the 20, no, I'm sorry, it's a 17-yard line. 17-yard line, that's the 24, that's 34 yards.
Heather?
Jordan Williamson is a man on an island, except for when coach came over and said, just relax, this is fun. At that point, Jordan Williamson took a knee, took a deep breath, rolled his shoulders, and started practicing again, guys. This is a freshman.
He's had an excellent year, redshirt freshman out of Austin, Texas. 2nd team All Pac-12, missed 3 games late in the year with a leg injury, but came back for the final 2. He's 1 out of 2 tonight. Just missed from 41, made a 30-yarder. Missed only 1 all year from inside 40 yards. This is a 35-yarder to give Stanford its second win in as many years in a BCS bowl game. Timeout.
Timeout. Oklahoma State, that is their third and final timeout. This will be a 30-second timeout.
And that's what he saved his last timeout for. Answer your phone.
Yeah, it's a high standard to live up to for Michigan and Virginia Tech. The next game up tomorrow night, 8 o'clock on ESPN. Matt and Heather and I will be privileged to have the call on ESPN radio. The All-State Sugar Bowl.
Bernard Robinson with probably the best first step in all of football. And the first step for Williamson better be a good one here.
Highly recruited kicker out of Westwood High School in Austin, Texas. Andrew Fowler is the snapper. Daniel Zaklinski, the holder. Pressure on them as well. Perfect execution in that part. The kick is no good. He hooked it badly to the left.
Just pulled it.
He was 11 for 12 from inside 40 yards this year.
See his lips, he said he missed it. He knew it.
And Matt, we've talked about it all night long. Their success in the red zone. Just the second time this year they failed to score in the red zone. And we're heading for overtime, tied at 38. Sean McDonough, Matt Millen, Heather Cox. Classic Tostitos Fiesta Bowl. And we get to enjoy it for a while longer. Stanford and Oklahoma State tied at 38. The end of regulation. The Cardinal not trailed in the game all night. Here's
Gentlemen,
Tom
we're
Ritter.
entering the first overtime period. In the overtime period, the winner of the toss will have their choice of offense, defense, or end of the field. They will have that choice in the first and every odd period. The loser of the toss will have their choice in the even period. Each team will have one timeout per overtime. They do not carry over. Stanford, you are the visiting captain. We have the same coin, heads and tails. What is your call?
Tails.
His call is tails. It is heads. The defense, which end of the field you're going to be on offense?
We want to go that way.
Okay, turn around. That's a Oklahoma State wins the toss, chooses to go on defense. Stanford's on offense, first down.
Well, it took till overtime of his last game, but we finally found something Andrew Luck isn't good at. He's a bad coin toss picker.
What a stiff.
And usually when you have the choice, you go on defense because each team's guaranteed a possession in overtime, and it helps to know what the other team did. Then you know what you have to do when you get the ball. Possession starts from the 25-yard line going in. You would think it's a format well suited for Stanford given their effectiveness in the red zone, but they just missed for the second time all year in the red zone. They are now 70 for 72 once getting into the red zone after the missed field goal by Williamson. Third overtime game in the history of the Fiesta Bowl. And who can forget the previous two? Ohio State and Miami, and Boise State and Oklahoma. One of the wild, dramatic finishes in the history of college football. Luck under center. They start with Taylor. And he bends forward near the 20, a gain of 5. for Taylor, who continues on a career night. 175 yards rushing.
They said at the start of this game they would be patient with that running game, and they have been.
Luck is 26 out of 30 for 344, 2 touchdowns, an interception. There was movement along the offensive line.
Prior to the snap, false start. Number 11 offense, 5-yard penalty, remains second down.
Levine Toilolo. Well, regardless of the outcome, both of these quarterbacks, record setters at the respective schools, are departing with performances they can be proud of.
Both of them accurate. Both of them stay in the pocket. They'll both do well at the next level. Whedon's 28 years old.
Back to the 25. Taylor in trouble. And Caleb Levy drops it for a loss. They'll mark it at the 27. And now they're running the risk of having to attempt a long field goal by Williamson, who has to be a little bit rattled after what happened a moment ago.
So now defensively for this Oklahoma State team, what Bill Young has done in these situations is brought pressure and forced him to throw underneath. And what has gotten Stanford out of the trouble has been Andrew Luck's feet. He's spreading again that 5-wide look. They're showing just a 3-man rush, which would give you 8 men deep.
Some very conservative runs here to start overtime. Now they put it in the hands of Luck. 4-man rush, throws short. Montgomery couldn't make Markel Martin miss. Down to the 25, right where this overtime session started. And Williamson returns to the center of the ring.
Bill Young did just that. He showed 3, Sean, but he brought 5. And because of the pressure, he had to dump it off quickly underneath.
Both misses this year in the red zone for Stanford were field goal misses by Williamson. He missed a 33-yarder against Cal, a 35-yarder to win it here a moment ago. Now a 43-yarder from the right hash mark to give them the lead. And that one's hooking, and that one is no good. That time there was a little bit of an issue with the snap and hold.
He
Snap
rolled
and
it
Fowler
back.
bounced back.
Yeah, he rolled it back and did a nice job of getting that thing back up, Sean.
Klinsky, the holder, did get it down, and Williamson had plenty of leg. And now Oklahoma State, which has not led in tonight's game at any point, will win it with a score here, and they're in field goal range, so it'll be interesting to see how they play it. Some critics of this format don't like the fact that you're in field goal range really when it starts, and Quinn Sharp is a great kicker. They flip it to Blackman, and he slips down as he tried to make a cut with Howell right in his face. No gain.
It's Harold Bernard who came up from that safety spot. Remember, early in the game, he bit. It allowed that first big touchdown pass.
Stanford brings pressure. Whedon throws down the middle, and it is caught by Chelf for a touchdown. Oklahoma State wins. Matt, I would think we might have a review to make sure that Chelf got into the end zone. It was very close as to whether or not a knee was down before that ball got in.
Yeah, they'll review it. It's a scoring play. They're going to have to get all those people out of that end zone.
Review.
And Colton Chelf, if it stands, the unlikeliest of heroes, surrounded by stars on both teams, Here's the senior who came as a walk-on and had only 16 catches all year. He made a very nice catch in his fingertips. And, ooh, I don't know about that. Great look at it. When does the knee touch down?
Yep. There you go. Knee down.
Well, it's not down yet. It's down now.
It's about
and
the
ball's
half-yard
not
line.
in. I think they're going to spot it at the half-yard line.
Yep.
And deprive, at least for the moment, Holden Shelf of an unbelievable place in Oklahoma State football history. He'll still be a hero with this catch if they can punch it in from inside a yard. Delano Howell, bad hand and all, heavily wrapped, made a tackle that, who knows, could be meaningful.
Sean, that's a great job by Shelf, but an even better job by Whedon. He found him and right on the button, right where the ball had to be, and it allowed for this to happen. And it looks like,
after further review, the runner was down with the ball at the half-yard line. It'll be first down and goal at the half-yard line, Oklahoma State.
Shelf from an Oklahoma State family. His dad, Randy, played at OSU. His younger brother, Clint, the backup quarterback, might be Whedon's replacement this year. That close to the biggest touchdown in Oklahoma State history. He has 5 catches for 97 yards after that 24-yard play. Now what do you do if you're Mike Gundy? Get the ball in the middle and kick the field goal, or hand it to somebody and pound it in, or have Whedon keep it and pound it in?
I'd run it in right here. Put it in the hands of a guy who's done it before and is trustworthy.
Randall would be that guy.
That would be Randall.
Although Smith is a power back as well. Sean knows that Stanford needs a miracle now, but stranger things have happened. They do send the offense back out. At the very least, if they're going to try a field goal, they want to get Sharp off the left hash mark. It would be a very sharp angle, no pun intended. They go out of the gun with Jeremy Smith, who's more of a physical runner. They're just going to put it in the middle of the field and put it on the foot of Sharp.
No surprise, Sean, that the times that Oklahoma State moved the ball was in the second and the fourth quarters. And the reason? He was able to get the ball into Justin Blackman's hands in those quarters.
Down the stretch, Whedon was brilliant, as was Luck, all night long when it mattered. 13 out of 14 on the last 3 possessions for Whedon to set up Sharp for heroics. A great kicker, one of the best in the country. Been both the first team punter and place kicker in the Big 12.
That is their first and only timeout of this overtime period. This will be a 30-second timeout.
In fact, he's the only player ever to be first team all-conference in the Big 12 as the punter and place kicker. Williamson had his chance to be the hero. You have to feel for him regardless of which team you're cheering for. And now they need a colossal mess up by the Oklahoma State Cowboys if they're going to play another overtime period.
What an entertaining game, though. Well played game offensively for both sides. They started off strong defensively, and then they cracked the code.
Sharp 1 for 1 tonight. The chip shot 19-yarder. 21 out of 24 on the season. Has not had any blocked. Connor Serko is the snapper. Wes Harlan the holder to win it. It is good! Oklahoma State with a flag down has won the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl.
Personal foul, roughing the kicker. Defense, penalties decline. The point is good. Game is over.
The only lead of the night for Mike Gundy and the Cowboys is the margin of victory. Whedon and Luck, they're friends. They spent the last couple of summers together at the Peyton Manning Passing Academy in Louisiana. A great appreciation for each other as people, and even more appreciation for each other's football skills after this. Oklahoma State wins in its first trip ever to a BCS bowl game. They win 12 games in a season for the first time. The president is awesome. The future might even be brighter for this program on the rise.